Week 1 is over. Week 2 is going to be on the way soon. So this is our first Tuesday fantasy football show. We've always done it on Wednesday. Now we're doing it on Tuesday, so that means we can talk waiver wire. We can do a Week 2 fantasy football onward draft, which I'm going to sign up for right now. But we're going to discuss all the games and talk about our waiver wire picks. Looks like this is going to be a while to fill. Maybe not too long, but we'll discuss all these games. Before we do, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, something for the merch store. May is Wrath Month. Wrath rights are human rights, and I'm sure Kenny, you feel a little homesick here with this your former city in the background as it burns to the ground and people loot the TVs. But yeah, you can get that as well as everything else in the merch store. We have all sorts of things at 20% off. You can change the colors of the shirts. You can get long sleeve. You can get hoodie. You can get women's tank top. You can get infant onesie even. So we have everything here, including mugs and our famous apron. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one, Sharks of the College Years. And I just talked about people I made fun of at Penn State. It was a lot of fun to write the book. I think you guys have a lot of fun reading it. And the best way to support the show, if you really want to help us out, is super chats, super stickers. A couple weeks ago, we got $25 from RMAC and $5 from SLU, and then $100 from RMAC the week before. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Can't say it enough. Like, you guys help us out so much. And also in the past, John Sanders, Can't Make an Eagle, Degeneron, Karmic, the boss. You guys rock. Like, I can't say that enough because like, YouTube has to pay nothing. I say that all the time, and it's true. So thank you guys. But yeah, we're joined by Kenny, thecapIsFake.com, for the first time on a Tuesday. Feels a little weird, but Kenny, how's it going?
I mean, once upon a time, I was a Tuesday guy. So
that's true. Yeah, when we did picks, when did the pick show, but we never
many
did
moons
on Tuesday. Yeah. That was, when did that stop? 2017. I think that was last year, probably.
Maybe I don't remember. 2019, maybe 2018. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think it was before 2019. I think the last year was when Mike McCarthy was fired by the Packers, because you had that legendary rant, and then I think we had to delete those videos because they contained picks advice, and you couldn't do it anymore. And that was like the saddest day when I had to delete the video because that rant was absolutely legendary.
I wish. I wish I could have gone back and at least saved them and not. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, so someone was like, make Kenny do the rant again. I'm like, it's not going to have the same fire. It's not going to seem like the same passion. Like, you can't force it. Like, it has to happen naturally. So
yeah,
maybe it'll happen again for someone else. But we'll see. A couple questions for you, Kenny.
Well, right out of the gate. Wow.
Yeah, Kenny, what do we do with Tank Bigsby? Keep or drop? This is a dilemma you have. You have Tank, a lot of Tanks Bigsby. I have Bigsby in one league. So what are we doing here?
I mean, I have him in the 4 main leagues I'm in. I have him in all 4 leagues. I think if you can hold the roster spot, maybe hold on to him for a week or two. If you absolutely need the roster spot, if you got injuries already, or you need to move, like he at this point is just he's like a handcuff stash, right? It's really a bummer. Guys, I think he's a great player. I was shocked when I saw it. So for the Eagles, it's great. This is a great move for the Eagles, I think, in real life, but it's terrible for my fantasy squads. So if you can absorb the roster spot for a week or two, maybe you hold on, see what the Eagles plan to do with him. It was announced Will Shipley is going to be out for 12 weeks with a rib injury.
Yeah.
So that's pretty significant. I mean, I think we'll see. But sad to say, I think Tank Bigsby might end up getting cut on my rosters at some point if I need the roster spots.
Yeah, I agree. Like Will Shipley is rosterable. So if Will Shipley is rosterable, so is Tank Bigsby. And by the way, rest in peace to my 57% or so ownership in Will Shipley in best ball. It was like it's all 16th, 17th rounds. It's not going to like hurt me too much, but that sucks. Like he looked good. He looked good in the first half, and then he had the 20-yard run. And now he's out. So, but I agree with you. I think if you rostered Shipley, you have to roster Bigsby. He's really good. I would try to keep him because Barkley had so many carries last year. It seems unlikely that he's going to play all 17 games. But if he misses 2, 3, 4 weeks, you're going to be happy that you had Bigsby because he'd be the number one waiver ad at that point.
I also do wonder. Yeah, do they intend to do any load management with Barkley? I think it's probably unwise for them to use Barkley the way they used him last year. Just like just a lot of wear and tear. As a player gets older, it'd be wise to spread that out a little bit, just from an injury risk standpoint. And you're right. If God forbid, God forbid, Saquon goes down, that would be terrible. But if he were, Tank would easily be like he's the unload all your fab waiver wire kind of guy, right? Like he's the. I mean, so yeah, I'm shocked that they traded him instead of 18. Maybe they couldn't get anything for 18. I don't know, but I'm just shocked by it.
Yeah. Mr. Patrick says between Blue, Bigsby, Hunter, and Higbee, I've already given up on fantasy this year. Yeah, Blue was a healthy scratch, which was weird. Bigsby, that was strange too. Hunter, he didn't have a bad game. It was okay.
Travis Hunter?
Yeah, Travis Hunter.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. And then Higbee. I don't get what happened to Higbee. I think he's probably blocking a lot. And remember, they were playing against Houston, which has a great pass rush. So I think this week you're going to see more Higbee. I could be wrong, but there's no reason why Colby Parkinson's catching passes instead. Any thoughts for Patrick's dilemma here?
Yeah, Patrick, I think you're good. Don't freak out just yet. I mean, you might need roster spots, but yeah, I don't have any shares of Higbee in season-long leagues, and I had very few in DraftKings, so I don't have the same anxiety there.
I ended up with 50% Higbee or something. That's 19th round. I don't have anxiety either. I don't care. I've 20 teams in first place right now. So
listen, I got a bunch of Taysom Hill for crying out loud on my 20th round pick. So I mean,
yeah, it's 20th round. What are you gonna do? Ford Z, is Justin Fields the number one waiver ad if he's still available? Yeah, I didn't list him as a waiver ad because he's 70% owned on ESPN. But if he's available, definitely add him. Do you agree?
Yeah, because what you need. If May and Purdy on your quarterbacks, yeah, I think long term, I still don't know what to make of that team. I don't know what to make of Fields long term, but yeah, if you need a quarterback in the short term, absolutely.
Okay, I have Mega says I have Torrey Holton, Isaac Tesla on the bench. Thinking of dropping him for a tight end. Fannin, I have Strange or Quentin Johnson. Keyshawn Boutte. I like Boutte. He was a good prospect. He was considered a first round prospect once upon a time. And then he fell in the draft. But looks like he's coming into his own. And Drake May seems to prefer him. So I listed him as an ad. I did not listen to Fannin as an ad. Here's the problem with Fannin is he looks good now. But Joe Flacco is not going to be the starter all year. We know that. He's going to be benched at some point. And when he's benched, all of Cleveland fantasy players go down the drain. So if you would need a tight end for 3-4 weeks, that's fine. But once Dylan Gabriel comes in and Shedeur Sanders, those guys are done. So just keep that in mind if you add Fannin or any Browns player. Any thoughts on this question?
I have a tough time believing there's not something better on your waiver wire. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you have a really deep league or something, but there's got to be something better, right? I don't know. That's my thought.
I like Boots. I think he's gonna have a decent year. I drafted him a little bit in the 19th, 20th round in best ball. So, Patrick says 12-team league. I Burrow, London, Henderson, Chase Brown, Hunter, Harvey, Downs. But that Downs was a bit disappointment, but he was injured. Remember, he was injured. He was coming into the game not 100%. Burrow. I don't know this for sure. But I guarantee I had Burrow lower than anyone else who published this weekly fantasy rankings. I had him 20th this week. Everyone else, I looked. Sometimes I look. I look to see what Ben Wassey does. I look to see what ESPN has, etc. Just to see, if am I missing something? But everyone had Burrow in top 8. I had him 20th. I was like,
why did you have him so low? What was just the Browns defense?
Burrow has never played well in Cleveland ever. That's his house of horrors. Myles Garrett destroys them every time. I had the Browns beating the Bengals, and my picks. That was my pick of the month. The Browns plus 5.5. I thought they'd win. They should have won. They won. They outgained the Bengals by 200 yards. What happened was they missed 4 points worth of kicks. and they lost by 1, and 2 interceptions by Flacco bounced off the hands of Judy and Tillman. Like those weren't on Flacco. Like they're drops that turn into picks. So if like one of them doesn't happen, they win the game. If the guy hits the extra point, they go to overtime. Like it's unfortunate for the Browns. But no, the Bengals they never do well in Cleveland ever. And Burrow has his worst games of the year there. So I don't worry about Burrow. He's a great buy low. He and Jamar Chase, they're great buy lows. I had Jamar Chase kind of lower too, not as low, but I'd all Bengals low this week. Like I had Higgins like 35th or something. I just had no faith in them. Anyway, but I still think
reminding me, by the way, that that the task of doing weekly ranks is something that. Like, I would rather stab myself in the forehead with a rusty butter knife than to have to do weekly. That sounds like a freaking miserable job.
Look, I'll admit this. I love what I do. When I used to work as a loan officer for a mortgage company, I used to come home and do my site for fun, you know? So I love what I do. But I'll say this, like weekly fantasy rankings is like the low point of the week. I'm like, I just want to get this over with. I hate this. I don't want to do it. Like I want to hire someone to do it for me. I don't want to do this anymore. But no, otherwise I love what I do. It's just so tedious. Like I don't mind it if it was like for ranking like 5-6 teams, that'd be okay. But like doing for 32 teams. It just takes so long, and it's like eventually, like I know I missed something too. That's why I look at other people's rankings just in case I can miss something. Because like once in a while, I'll forget to rank a player. You know, it's just too much. It's just way too much. You know. By the way, this draft is underway. It's just like we'll do this in the background as we answer questions and talk about games. So I want, unless you want to weigh in on some picks, I could just do this. But anyway. Can I drop Braylon Allen and add Quentin Johnson standard? I would keep Braylon Allen personally. I think he's just way too good of a handcuff. I don't trust Quentin Johnson. What do you think?
Depends on your roster construction. I know that's a cop-out answer. Yeah. I remember someone told me that Braylon Allen and Breece Hall were going to be 50-50 split, and that's it wasn't close to reality. I think Braylon Allen's a fine player, but he's nothing but a handcuff at this point, I think. And so it depends what you need. You know, handcuffs are valuable if you can hold on to them, certainly, because players get injured. But if you need the roster, Quentin Johnson, I think I'd be willing to. I'm going to put some waiver wire, fab money on Quentin Johnson because he's a bonehead, like total bonehead. But like, I don't know, maybe he turns. Maybe this is the year he turns around.
Maybe. Look, I mean, he was the first round pick, so maybe. Also, my other quarterbacks are Fields, which worked out. JJ Love, May, Stafford, Geno, Rodgers, Penix, Darnold, Flacco. You could add all. Cassandra could add all these. I like May. I still like May. I think he's gonna have a great week 2 against the Dolphins because Daniel Jones is good. Everyone else here, Penix is fine. JJ's fine. I think that's the extent of it. Anyone stand out to you here?
Who do the Packers play this week?
The Redskins on Thursday.
Okay. I mean, Love looked really good. So I wouldn't totally be against going with Jordan Love against Washington. That's not a terrible play.
Well, I am the Kais in this.
What was that?
I am the Kais in this draft. He's the one who is when we were drafting, he's like, thanks for sniping my tight ends in our chat. he was listening to the show and drafting with us at the same time. So I have to kind of like be careful with what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna pop up my phone and draft on my phone. So I think Kai doesn't see what I'm doing here because he's right after me too. So that's pretty rough. By the way, I had a choice between Henry and Barkley. Who would you have taken there?
I'm taking Barkley. I still think Barkley is the number one player.
Yeah.
I think it's closer between him and Bijan though. After what we saw this week.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously chose Barkley there, but Henry has such an easy playoff schedule, which is key here for a best ball. Also, speaking of the Browns, Charlie predicted Carson Swessinger for defense rookie of the year. He posted a 90 PFF grade against the Bengals, currently 20-1. Interesting. I must have missed that video, but or that article or wherever he said it. That's interesting. Well, we'll take a look at that definitely. Rank Quentin Johnson, Butte, Fannin for waivers. Who do you like here?
Well, I think Johnston is the better option. Butte, and then Fannin is just if depends if you need a tight end. Like, I guess
Right.
I don't even include tight end and quarterbacks in my waivers usually because I'm like that they're just specialty positions. Like if you're streaming, yeah, I kind of take tight ends as kind of a separate deal.
Yeah, I like Butte more. I just don't trust Quentin Johnston, but maybe he gets there. But I just think that May really likes Butte, so I'm willing to take a chance on him. Like I said, I really don't trust. I don't trust Johnston at all. But I don't know. Maybe you're right. I'm not like fully confident in that. Also way off topic, but any bets for PGA this week? I have not fought like I cut off PGA once football starts. Is this even the Ryder Cup? I don't even know. That's how off I am with PGA. We won our tour championship bet with Tommy Fleetwood, who somehow stopped choking for once. It was great. It was like I don't want to call Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning's just much higher for quarterbacks. But this guy, real quick, Tommy Fleetwood in golf, he's like the biggest choke artist of all time. Like it would be 18th hole, he'd screw up all the time. He never won, and then he just randomly won tour championship. It's like, okay, that's so weird. Ditch Fields. No, I'd keep Fields. I personally would keep Fields. Which tight end are you adding if you had Kittle? Juwan Johnson, Strange, Fannin, Jonnu Kincaid. I like Strange there. Maybe Juwan Johnson after that? What do you think?
I think Juwan Johnson is my favorite, then Kincaid, then Strange, then Fannin, then Jonnu. That'd be my ranking.
Okay. 11 holes getting wild early. Yeah. The 11th team in this draft took Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Just going for quarterback bully strategy there. What do you think about that strategy?
I never understand the bully strategy. Yeah,
I don't either. I don't quite get it. So I and the Kai, our friend, took Lad McConkey. So I'm gonna go running back here, and I'm gonna take Bucky Irving, who's fallen to us. I know he didn't have the best game, but Atlanta has a good run defense, so I think he's going to bounce back. And I thought about HN as well. So HN goes. And so, yeah, I'm going to be up in a couple picks as well. But let's get to I'm the guy. This is the one who commented.
I'm trying not to overreact to week one, right? I mean,
yes,
that's like. But I will tell you, if there's one team that I'm having a major reaction to, it's the Miami Dolphins, because that team looked absolutely awful.
They allowed Daniel Jones to score in every single possession. That's never happened in century.
Never.
Yeah, not Tom Brady, not Aaron Rodgers, not Drew Brees, not Peyton Manning, not Cleo Lemon. No one had done that. Cleo Lemon. All right. What are we doing? London or Bowers, real fast?
I like London over Bauer. That's my anti-tight end bias, though.
All right, so taking Drake London.
Drake London in the top of the third is good value here.
Yeah, he's a little banged up. That's the only question here, but very easy playoff schedule. So, all right, who's the best T? I don't know. Do you know what this means? I don't know what this means. Andrew, can you? Kittle replacement. Kittle replacement.
Kittle replacement.
It depends who's available. It depends who's available. You know, you have to tell me who's available, in your league. Stranger Ertz rest of season. It's so close. I think Ertz is safer. I think Strange is more upside.
That's actually, I think I 100% agree with that. Yeah. If you need to shoot the moon a little bit, Strange. If you want a little more just floor, Ertz.
Yeah. I have Walker and the French running back on the Seahawks. Which one would you start? Yeah, the French running back, Charbonnet. Yes. He was getting carries over Walker. It was great. I was like Clint Kubiak gets it. I was like, this is
okay. We're gonna have to debate this because you're totally wrong on this. Your Walker Charbonnet take is objectively wrong.
Charbonnet was playing more than Walker. Why? Can you tell me why I'm wrong?
They were. Well, Walker got more touches overall, and got more red zone touches. So, I don't know. Charbonnet played 52% of the snaps. Walker played 48% of the snaps. It's pretty close. 52-48 is pretty close.
Yeah, Charbonnet's better.
Yeah, I don't know that he's actually better. I think they're pretty comparable players. in both quality and style. Like they're actually like they're both pretty good players. And 52-48, like it's not like a huge like it wasn't like Braylon Hall and Bryce. It wasn't like Bryce Hall and Braylon. What it was 76% to 24%. Like
it was close. I'll give you that.
And Charbonnet had 14 carries. Walker had 12. Charbonnet had 0 targets in the pass game. Walker had 3 catches. In the red zone, it was 52-48 in favor of Walker. Overall, it was 52-48. Like, I think it's close. I don't know. Like the idea that like somehow there's this big gap between these two, I think is a little bit odd. I saw you gloating about it on Twitter, and I was just like, what? It's game one. It's game one, Walt. What are you talking about? You're like,
yeah, it's game one. So to me, Walker was supposed to get more carries than Charbonnet, and he wasn't. Like Charbonnet is better. Like I don't think it's even a question. Like Charbonnet is not just better, but he's more durable. Like Walker gets hurt all the time.
Maybe
he gets touched like this, and he's out for 3 weeks. Like
I mean, he might be. Yeah, they may be more durable. You know, I don't know, but they're very similar players. Like that's the weird thing about it. You watch them play. If you didn't know better, you might actually not realize they're the same player. Like you might think they're the same player. Like they're so similar in style.
I don't know. I just like Charbonnet more.
I mean, I think it's okay for you to just tell people, listen, I objectively or subjectively, for no apparent reason, like Charbonnet more. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But
he's better. Like there's no question. Even the Seahawks realized it. Like they're giving him more carries, man.
If I don't know, the facts don't back up what you just said. That's my point. If it was so clearly better, why would they go 50-50? Why would they actually gave Walker more touches?
I think
they gave him more touches.
Charbonnet can catch the ball too. I think they're trying to
better.
Speaking over each other. Sorry. I think they're trying to showcase Walker for trade.
Okay. I think you're making that up. I think you're just
he's in his contract year. They're not going to resign him.
That's fine. I think you're just pulling it out of your ass, and that's okay. You're allowed to pull things out of your ass. I just think it's valuable for the people to know. Hey, I think Walt's pulled things out of his ass. I think we do this in a fantasy community. We pull things out of our ass. And we just for no apparent reason. It doesn't make any sense. Just like let's just look at the facts. The facts are it was 50-50, and they're two similar players. And you're right. One has been more injury prone than the other. Those are the facts. I think anything beyond that is speculation.
I mean, the facts are Charbonnet had more carries, and it was game one, and everyone like Walker was supposed to be the starter.
14-12 is like just so close though. Like
yeah, I'm saying it's not close.
And Walker had 4 targets.
Yeah, but Charbonnet can get targets too. Like it's like
0.
next week you could get 4 targets as well. Like
next week Walker could get more carries.
Yeah, like maybe.
So I just say that you're speaking with such confidence, and I just think you're too confident. That's all. Like the data is like, it's actually closer than that. I think it would be why I think this is one of the flaws of the fantasy community. We're too confident.
Well, I mean, Walker was the 3rd round pick. Charbonnet's 8th round pick. Like
I didn't have
like anyway. You said I gloated on Twitter. I just said people were drafting Walker in round 3. That's all I said. Like that was dumb. Like why would people do that?
Okay, all right. Well, I had him as a 5th round pick. So you're right. I was not defending him in the 3rd round.
Yeah. I mean, I heard we had Mr. Jump Cut say, "You got to take Kenneth Walker in the 3rd round." No, it was stupid.
All right. Okay, we agree there. I just hear people say things in a fantasy community. And I just like it drives me crazy. I'm like, you don't know that. That's true. That's not true at all. Like, who knows? Next week it could be 14-12 the other direction. Like, who knows? Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, look, it could be. I'm not saying it definitely will be, but I think that anyone who thought Walker is going to handle the majority of the workload, that we could say is wrong.
Yeah, but was there a lot of people saying that?
Yeah, because Walker's going around 3. If people thought Walker was going to split the touches 50-50, he would have gone around 6, kind of like Aaron Jones was, because people thought Jones and Mason were going to split.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I think people. I think most people don't realize Charbonnet's good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I think people underrate. I think it's less about Walker and more about Charbonnet.
Yeah,
and I like Charbonnet. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, he's awesome.
All right,
I'm gonna Tyler Warren. Anyway,
Tyler Warren 5th.
Yeah, I love Tyler Warren. All my guys went. I wanted Harrison, I wanted Flowers, I wanted
Early.
What'd you say?
Feels early. I mean, again, I have a bias. I'm an anti-tight end. So
there's no one else I like at this spot.
I feel about tight ends the way old white guys in Alabama felt about black people in 1898. Tight ends are my Jim Crow.
Right. Well, I mostly agree. But I love Tyler Warren. I think he's awesome.
It's like my racism. Tight endism.
I think he should be going around this range. That's I don't think I'm getting a steal. I kept drafting him around 8, but all the guys I wanted were gone, so I didn't really like anyone.
All right, so I will say this, and I feel like in week 1 I feel vindicated. I feel like most of my opinions were proven to be very accurate. But I will tell you, there are 2 things that happened this week that I go, oh snap. One is the man who just was drafted in the 5th round here, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. Where would you draft him?
I don't know right now. I mean, Tyreek Hill, I can't touch him before like round 8, to be honest. That, I don't think people realize that Dolphins offense looked historically bad, and it's not even the offense; it's Tua. It's Tua looked awful in this game. I mean, the only thing you can say is he wasn't concussed. I guess that's the only positive.
Are we sure about that?
He looked terrible. So I don't know what to do with any of the Miami Dolphins players, including Devon Achane. I don't think that offense is going to be functional anytime soon.
Man, you're right. I think Achane's like the one guy I could maybe get behind because like they could dump passes off to him, like he can get there, but like it's tough, dude. They looked so bad. So bad, and the offensive line took a hit too. They lost James Daniels, the best lineman. He went on IR,
and it's like I don't know how to rate the offensive line because Tua didn't look. He looked lost. He looked absolutely lost. I'm not kidding. This is the worst team of football.
Yeah. I put them 32 in my power rankings for sure.
And I mean, it's really because it's not they don't have some talent. The team has talent. But when your quarterback, he looks like he doesn't know how to play, guys. Tua is I don't know what happened to him.
I was just about to ask you. What do you think happened here?
It's great. Is it just in the head? I don't know, man. Something's not right. Something's not right with Tua.
Yeah.
I've never. This is the weirdest. I mean, I feel like it was the 2 worst quarterbacks that played yesterday or Sunday were Russell Wilson and Tua, and I'm pretty sure if I had to pick roll with one of those as my quarterback this week, I think I'd take Russell Wilson.
It's so bad. Like it's funny that you didn't even mention Spencer Rattler.
Rattler actually was significantly better than both of those guys.
I want to disagree with you, but I can't. I
think like that's how bad that's how they were terrible. Yeah. And Russell Wilson was bad. Tua was worse.
How by the way, how the Giants come to the conclusion that Russell Wilson is better than Jameis Winston? Like I get you don't want to go with the rookie, okay, because Andrew Thomas is out, fine. Like how's Jameis Winston not better than Russell Wilson at this point? Like I think that was obvious to me. Like even when they signed Russell Wilson, I was like they already had Winston. How's this enough?
I don't understand. Just roll with the rookie. I don't care what's just go with the rookie. I don't understand. What's the point?
And by the way, the Dable said he'd have to ask ownership if he could start the rookie.
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah, what kind of clown show is this? Like, why? He's the coach. Like, let him do coaching things.
The second thing that I think I'm going to be wrong about is Travis Etienne here. Probably deserves to go in the 5th round.
Well, hold on. I'll say this about Etienne. Everyone's going to run to Carolina this year. Everyone.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Listen, I think this guy sucks. I don't think he's actually good, but he had a really good game. So I have to admit it. Like, I have to be fair. Like when someone I have ripped on, I have to take the egg on my face and I tap. Okay, Etienne, you looked like 2022 version again. No. 2023. It looked really. Yeah. So maybe you're right. It may just be that, but it may just be the defense are playing. But yeah, I was expecting it to be Tank Bigsby, not the other way around. So yeah, Jameson Williams here, by the way. I think there's some value here in the 6th round. George Pickens value. Keenan Coleman looked really good. These are all values in the 6th round. Charbonnet looked good here. Devontae Smith, tragically, is probably where he should go. It's a bummer.
I was gonna take him.
Like Devontae Smith should be like a 4th round player, but realistically, because of the situation, he's a 6th round player. He's probably accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so let's answer some more questions. Walker's explosive. Charbonnet's better staying healthy. Some teams love that RBC strategy. Yeah, but no one's expecting Seattle for that though. Still playing Walker due to ankle injury. That could be true. That could be true. Data versus.
I think it goes back to what you're saying there, right? Like if he's regularly injured, I mean that's a problem.
Yeah, 100%. That's true. Okay. Is there hope for Cooper Kupp to be somewhat productive at all this season? No. No. He was number 1 on my bust list. I said repeatedly on the show that I would not draft him in the 16th round. He is not going to do anything this year. He might have like one good game, but that's it. Like he's not going to do anything. How do you feel about it?
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. If you have him on a roster, like you made a mistake, it's okay. Just eat it, move on.
It took Rashee Rice here, by the way. It's like it's a little weird here. It's a 5-game suspension now, not a 6-game. So I was saying at a 6-game, I'll take him mid-7th, but now with a 5-game suspension, I would say beginning 7th.
Oh, so. Yeah. I mean, I hate. In best ball, it feels different than season long. Season long,
yeah.
I don't love using up the roster spot.
Of course, you're right. Yeah.
Of course, I also did drive Joe Mixon in 2 of 4 leagues. So, speaking of using up roster spot,
right.
I got him in the 12th round in our league and the 13th round in another league. I'm just like, I'm gonna roll with it. Take my chances.
Yeah. All right. Really liking Pearsall upside with the injuries. Yeah, I think Mac Jones is still slinging it. Yeah, I love Pearsall. Looked great. He almost had a touchdown too. That would have been so good if he had caught that one too. But the defender knocked it away last second. Hill could go back to the Chiefs because God hates the Bills. I think that's the one out for Tyreek Hill is if he's traded to the Chiefs. Like they're talking about that, and it makes so much sense because the Chiefs don't have anything at receiver right now.
What a rough. Yeah, the earliest I drafted, I did drive Tyreek Hill in the 4th round in 1 league, and I felt fine with drafting him in the 4th round in that league. But man, now it's terrible. Could they fix it? Could too? I guess it's possible. I just don't. I don't have any confidence that they're going to change it. So
no, I don't think so either.
The Miami Dolphins offensive, Jalen Wright, who I was telling, once he comes back from injury, I really like Jalen Wright as a player. That's a waste of time. Yeah. If you have any of the players there, it's a bummer.
Yeah, for sure. Tua thinks Bill Clinton's president. Never mind. Say that. Do you remember that old Snickers commercial where the guy was tested for concussions on the sideline? Do you remember? It's like one of my favorite commercials of all time. And this is back when concussions were laughed at. Like they would never air this now, but like the quarterback gets hit in the head real hard, and they take him to the sideline, and they're like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Oh, Bill Jones." I'm like, "Okay. Do you know what day it is?" He's like, sorry, I screwed up. Hold on. Let me start over. They're like, all right, do you know what you're doing right now? He's like, yeah, playing football. They're like, do you know what day it is? He's like, yeah, Sunday. They're like, do you know your name? He's like, my name's Batman.
Yeah.
And then they're like not going anywhere for a while, and he's like eating a Snickers bar, just sitting on the bench. So that's it's kind of like it might be pretty rough for Tua, unfortunately. We laugh at it and stuff like that, but like I don't know. Like the long-term effects of the concussions can really be bad. Like, I mean, obviously we know that, but like, I mean, like even as a player right now, because we saw that with Carson Wentz, remember? Like he took that hit from Jadeveon Clowney in the playoffs, and he was never the same after that. Antonio Brown took that hit from Vontaze Burfict, was never the same again. Like this could be concussion related. People remember when they talk about Carson Wentz, people talked about the knee injury and the back injury. Like he had back-to-back, significant knee and back injuries. And a lot of people were like, well, that's what did him in. It was the knee injury, the back injury.
I think you're right. I think the concussion in the playoffs might have been the thing actually that really undid Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Tua's family member, if I'm his wife or a brother, someone who cares about him, man, I literally am reaching out to him today, going, dude, like you don't need the money, like you got money in the bank, like, dude, this is your life, like, I would be hanging it up. And that's easy for me to say because whatever, I'm not the guy playing in the NFL, but
right
on a guy, seriously, man, he just looks lost. And then after the game, one of the reporters asked him a question that I just thought was, the reporter asked him, why do you think the turnovers come in bunches with you guys? Like, why does it feel like? And he goes, do they come in bunches? I don't know that they come in bunches. I'm like, dude, are you watching the games? Are you watching the games? You're like, yeah, man, it's tough. So Xavier Worthy just went, by the way, in your draft here.
I was going to take him. He's day to day. They said he'd be out like several weeks. Now they're saying day to day. I don't
think he's going to play against the Eagles with this. You're on the clock here.
Yeah, I wanted Worthy, he went, then I wanted Shakir, and then he went. It's almost like I hid my picks, and it doesn't matter. It's just stuff being.
It seems like they went. They're saying he's going to play against the Eagles, but with a brace or some sort of harness. But there's also a chance that, like, if it doesn't work out, he may get surgery. Like, I guess they're like trying to determine, like, can he play with it? Which that doesn't make me feel great.
No, that's not good at all. If Kupp misses time, is Horton going to be a hot waiver pickup? I mean,
I don't think it matters if Kupp.
I think Horton's better right now than Kupp.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, the Seattle pass offense is so stagnant. It's like you're watching, it's like this does nothing. Like, Sam Darnold's going to be benched at some point, I think, in my opinion.
And Milroe will be the guy.
I think so, yeah. I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon, but like November-ish, I think.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take a quarterback here. Let's go. Justin Fields. Let's go.
Oh, ahead of Justin Herbert? Oh, Herbert's already gone. Herbert in the 7th. Whoa.
Herbert's gone. Yeah, Herbert's gone, yeah.
It's my guy. I got Justin Herbert in 3 of 4 leagues. So
yeah, he definitely moved up. He's been going 7th round.
He's the guy. I love it. I mean, you have Dobbins and Warren in the 9th round here. I mean, this is fantastic value for those guys. By the way, Jaylen Warren looks to be he should have gone way before 9th round here. So I guess we'll talk about Caleb Johnson disaster in a moment.
Yeah, that's looking like a bad 7th round pick for people. Let's see. We have a couple more. Everyone keeps telling us, Kenny, it's Wednesday, and see if you can get confused. Kenny, happy Wednesday.
Isn't it Wednesday?
We're 9 minutes away. It's almost Wednesday. Yeah. All right. Let's get to the games here. Is real fast. This guy, by the way, has 3 tight ends. Why does this guy have 3 tight ends? He has more tight ends than running backs. It's not a good strategy here. Don't ever do that. All right. The first game was we go back to the Thursday 5 days ago. Eagles 24, Cowboys 20. Jalen Carter got ejected. I think that opened things up for Dallas. So I personally am not buying this Javonte Williams stuff. Maybe you are. I don't know. He didn't even get 4 yards per carry. I know you're not a big yards per carry guy, but like, I don't know. I mean, he's not great. He has scored 2 touchdowns. Those touchdowns could help him. Jana Blue being inactive, I think, is the big takeaway here. For the Eagles, A.J. Brown had 1 target. So that's like the main discussion piece. I feel like A.J. Brown could be, the squeaky wheel narrative this week. So what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, the hot button topics are the squeaky wheel narrative. Yeah, I absolutely think that's legitimate. And I think the Chiefs showed that they were better against the ground game than their pass game. I mean, the Chargers were able to throw all over them. Yeah. And so, yeah, I absolutely. And the Chiefs are a more the Cowboys played exclusively zone. They played cover 2 almost the entire night. Cover 2 shell. That's like the Eagles' kryptonite. That defense. And so, but not all the teams play it. The Chiefs play mostly man-to-man. And that's where the Eagles do the best. They do the best work. And so A.J. Brown is the best man-to-man receiver in the league. Mm-hmm. And the squeaky wheel. Yeah, I think A.J. Brown is like guys, put him in all your DFS lineups. Let's go. Like AJ Brown, 174-yard game coming right in. Like that's like it's gonna be that kind of like I just totally see that. And squeaky wheel is absolutely a narrative that some people like maybe it's overdone, but like it's legit. Like particularly with, and we already saw it with Sirianni this week. Sirianni and the coaching, he was talking about the one target that AJ Brown had and what a mental toughness it took to stay in the game until that last. I mean, he's totally catering to AJ Brown at that point.
Yeah,
which AJ Brown needs. He's an egomaniac, which a lot of these guys are, right? I'm the same way. So we all need a little snow blowing up our ass sometimes, and I easily see that coming. I think this reminds me last year when it happened last year and the Eagles came out against Pittsburgh throwing the ball. This is going to be the same situation. So
the two receivers I love in DFS this week are AJ Brown, one, and then CD Lamb, because I love players who get embarrassed. CD Lamb got embarrassed. He dropped those two passes in the fourth quarter. Reminds me of, remember when Devontae Smith dropped that pass against the Redskins last year, and then the next game he went nuclear against the Cowboys. I think that could be the case too. So there are two receivers I love this week, and then there's one running back I love too, but we can discuss them later. So I'm about to be up. I'm the Kai, by the way. You have 7 receivers and 2 quarterbacks, but only 1 running back. I don't know about that. So I'm gonna. What'd you say?
So you're gonna get a bunch of handcuffs.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, 0 running back strategy is the thing. I guess it's hero ball here with Henry. I took a Drake May, by the way. I think he's going to bounce back. I mean, he's got so much upside. Yeah, and I think he plays the Dolphins this week, so he could just go nuts against them. So
yeah. I will say Jaden Blue being a healthy scratch was certainly a surprise. Yeah. Javonte Williams looked fine. I mean, like it's hard to, as you said, it's kind of hard to measure. With the Eagles are not at their best. I will say this. There was all these Cowboys fans I saw on Twitter this week, like ripping on Miles Sanders for like, this guy's terrible. And like, what, like, I'm like, I've been trying to tell you guys this. I've been trying to tell you guys for 7 years. No one's listening to me. This guy's bad. And there's this clip of like, there's these massive holes. The offensive line is opening and he just like runs right by them. Doesn't know how to hit the hole. I've been saying it for years. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
It's the Tevin Coleman syndrome. Great athlete, not a good football player. Kyle Pitts. I mean, there's so many guys in this category, right? Like, Evan Ingram felt this way for years with me. Eric Ebron, like, all these guys are like, they're great athletes. They're just not good football players. You're just like, you should be much better than you are.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I don't get like how they played Sanders over Jaden Blue. Like that's crazy to me. Like Blue has so much like potential as a guy who can just go the distance anytime he touches the ball. Like I don't get it. I really don't get it.
To me, it's just like did something happen that we didn't know about? Like
could be, yeah, maybe.
To me, it's like the teams, they see these guys every day, so clearly there's something that made them concerned.
Right.
By the way, Jaden Blue, who got most of the preseason first team reps. Another data point why preseason first team reps may not mean anything.
Yeah. I mean, preseason's turned into a crap show, So, all right, let's get to the next game, the Brazilian game, which sounds like it's not going to happen next year because it's going to violate the broadcasting laws. But Chargers beat the Chiefs 27-21. The surprise here for me was that the Chargers were so aggressive in the fourth quarter. They drafted a running back the first round, so you figured they're going to just run in the fourth quarter. But no, like Herbert was throwing nonstop, and it worked. I mean, we saw what Johnson did. We saw what Keenan Allen did. We saw what McConkey did. These guys are awesome. And then the Chiefs, I feel like their offensive game plan went down the drain in the first drive when Xavier Worthy got hurt. Like they couldn't do anything until the second half. It felt like Andy Reid used the long halftime to kind of make changes, and that worked too. But the defense just couldn't get off the field. So, what are your thoughts on this game?
I don't think there's anything super like we learned a lot. I mean, I was all over Herbert in a lot of my leagues. So I got Herbert in 3 or 4 leagues. I got Keenan Allen in 2 of my 4 leagues. One lesson learned. Hampton is a real deal. Hampton's like legit good. Yeah. And I can't imagine we ever see Najee Harris again. Like Najee Harris is, I mean, he'll be like a, backup running back. He'll get some carries here and there to spell Hampton. That's the NFL. There's no one gets all. There's no such thing as a bell cow anymore. Like there's like 3 bell cows, right? So Hampton will get spelled by Harris, but Hampton is legit, and probably was worthy of a second round. Like watching him play, he probably was worthy of a second round pick. So if you drafted him in the 3rd or the 4th, you got great value.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert looked awesome. Made me look smart. That's always good. I like when guys make me look smart. On a week when Travis Etienne made me look dumb, I was thankful for Justin Herbert.
Everyone needs someone's.
And so Herbert looked awesome. Yeah, I think this team's going to be great. Yeah, I think sometimes like people are very concerned. Oh, they're going to be conservative. Like coaches do what they need to do to win, and I think we need to just be careful that we don't assume we know what they're thinking beforehand. I think that's Greg Roman. He never throws the ball. I don't know. They look like they throw the ball a lot that game, and so
that's true. Yeah. So, everyone assumed, Chargers going to run the ball. I mean, they did use a 1st-round pick on a running back. That's my question. It's like, if you're going to be that aggressive in the 4th quarter, why'd you use a 1st-round pick on a running back? It doesn't make sense to me. But I mean, look, it works. It works.
He's a good player.
No, he is.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. It's just strange.
If I didn't know better, watching Genty and Hampton play, if I didn't know better, I would have thought Hampton was the generational talent that was drafted in the top, 7 picks. Now, Genty still might be great. I didn't say he was terrible. I'm watching those 2 guys play this week, and I thought to myself, Hampton looks way better. But again, the situation could be informing that.
Yeah, Harris just went, by the way. I don't think Ross Wins is listening to us here. RJ Harvey looked good. He had that 50-yard run. We'll get to that game, but yeah, he did look good on that one. Yeah. Okay. Raiders 20, Patriots 13. The Patriots had the lead at halftime, so they kind of fell apart in the second half. I don't think it's going to be much longer until Henderson takes over the main role here. He had only 2 fewer carries, but he looked so much more explosive. 6 catches. Like this is going to be routinely for him. Like he's such a good receiver. We talked about Butte already. For the Raiders, Gency, not too much yards per carry wise. He scored a touchdown. Brock Bowers is great, but he's going to be day to day now with a knee. And so Thornton had only 2 for 45. I'm on the clock here. Thornton had only 2 for 45, but he was targeted deep, and it just wasn't complete. So, what are your thoughts on the Patriots Raiders game?
Yeah, lessons learned is Geno Smith still sucks. In case you thought he got good, he does. He didn't get good. He still sucks, but that's fine. He's good enough for them to be productive. Yeah, if you're in PPR, Myers is a great. I mean, just feels like Jacoby Myers is such a value every year. Like you just never get if you're in PPR, you can be a PPR machine. I don't think it'll change. I think Thornton will be inconsistent because I think the offense will be inconsistent because I think Geno Smith is inconsistent. Like when you have him the quarterback, that's going to be the nature of it. Genty looked fine. You got to bailed out the touchdown. He looked good. I would imagine he'll continue to look good. The Patriots, Stevenson, by the way, he outsnapped Henderson 2-1. That's you look at the box score, they look close, but Stevenson's on the field a lot. And you're on the clock there. The thing about Henderson, we were told, that I was told a lot, is he's a great pass protector, so he's going to be on the field a lot. Well, he wasn't on the field a lot, so that makes me a little bit nervous there.
Yeah, it's only week 1. I think that I said by midseason I think he's going to be the full-time guy. He's just way better than Stevenson. Like it's not close. And Stevenson was benched twice last year for Gibson, so I don't think that's going to last. So we'll see. But I mean, Henderson's just his great talent's just undeniable, and it reminds me of Chase Brown last year. He was the RB2 for a while, and then he took over late in the year. Jahmyr Gibbs, when he was a rookie, he was RB2 for a while, and then he got more and more touches as the year went on. So it's only 1 week, and I wouldn't expect the rookie running backs to play all that much unless they're in question starter. So
if that's the case, if he's being mixed in over time, he clearly was not a worth 3rd round pick then at that point, right? Like if he doesn't become this full-time take over the load until mid-season, then numerically he was not worth a 3rd round pick. Like that's going to, unless what he'll have to do in the second half to pay that off is pretty substantial.
Well, I don't know. It's a kind of tricky thing because I talked about how round 4 sucked all the time. Like I just didn't like anyone round 4. So he's kind of like the de facto like late 3rd round guy who was just gonna kind of sneak into round 3 because of if people were taken already. But like he could be a league winner like down the stretch if you make the playoffs and like he's just going nuts late in the year. Like then he's going to pay off his third round pick.
Yeah, well, that's what he's going to have to be. He's going to have to be that.
Right.
I think the data that I'm looking at right now makes me think he's not worth a 3rd round pick. He was probably worth a 6th round pick, which is where I happen to have had him. Like he has if you draft someone in the 3rd round, you're expecting them to produce immediately. I don't like drafting 3rd round picks that wait till week 5 or 6 to start paying off. Like I could be out of the playoff hunt by that point if my team is struggling.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already doing something. It's not like he's not playing, And I think that he could be full time week 3, week 4. Like I mean, it may not take that long.
Maybe, yeah. When I see Stevenson though out snapping him 2-1, that's a little bit nerve wracking.
Yeah,
I don't have a lot. I don't have any Henderson, so yeah, I have no because I was not willing to draft him in the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah, he was going round 6 for a long time in the summer until that one kickoff return touchdown that like vaulted him up 2 rounds. Also, it should never happen because I kept drafting in round 6 like every time is like free money, but that changed everything. Let's see. Smithy says Henderson's body cannot handle full workload of the season. He will break down. I mean, he always shared their workload. I don't know if we ever saw evidence of that, though. I'm not sure about that. I was going to take Bigsby, by the way, so I'm kind of sad that he went. I think given that I waited on a quarterback, I think I should draft 3 quarterbacks in this draft. I usually like if I draft like a guy early, like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, I'll only take 2. But given these guys are more volatile, and especially Fields, who can get hurt a lot. Like so. I think I want a 3rd quarterback there. Cam Warden, round 14 is not bad. We'll talk about him in a bit. Anyway, the next game is let's go to Steelers 34, Jets 32. The Steelers' run defense was atrocious. I have no idea what happened. Breece Hall went nuts. They couldn't get off the field. Like I've never seen a Tomlin defense this bad in week 1. Fields 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall was crazy. Garrett Wilson was awesome for the Steelers. Like Rodgers posted 4 touchdowns, but like I don't think he's that good. Just watching him, like he had no deep passes or completed, like air yards wise. Metcalf had that like crazy bounce into his hand. So what are your thoughts on this game? Because I came away very underwhelmed by the Steelers.
Yeah, I think on both sides of the ball, I was underwhelmed. I kind of think they are what we thought they were. Like DK is going to be like in the to quote the immortal
yes.
Green, like he's far, like I think he's going to be a mid round. I think he'll pay off what you drafted him to be. He's going to be that. Rodgers was a late round quarterback. He's going to have good weeks. He's going to have bad weeks. I guess I would have thought this was a bad week because of the Jets. I do think you're right. There were some kind of lucky bounces. Maybe not. Maybe lucky is not the right word. Some things went right for them that maybe if they play this game 10 times, this is if they played this game 10 times in a row, we would look back and go, oh, the one that actually played out in reality was probably the best case scenario of the 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in this case, the Jets, Justin Fields looked fine. He didn't look amazing, but he looked sufficient enough where they're going to be a decent, okay offense. I think Breece Hall proved that he was worthy of a 2nd round pick, not a 4th round pick. I have him in all 4 of my leagues. I don't think I realized how much higher I was on him than everyone else. We never really argued about him in the summer until I drafted him in all 4 leagues and thought, wait a minute, why am I getting him every league? Yeah. Why is he my flex? And I'm like, oh, it's because this Braylon Allen 50-50 Aaron Glenn comment is shaping the world's opinion of this situation.
Yeah, talk about bad beat reporting. My God, that's what they were saying.
Which is like, and I remember just being like, I just don't buy it. I don't buy that. Anyway, yeah, I don't buy it. That's why I don't listen to beat reporters. But I think the greatest lesson I learned from this game is Kenny Gainwell the lead back in Pittsburgh? Like what? Caleb Johnson got 2 touches in the game. Was it 2? No.
1 carry for -2 yards.
Yeah. Well, oh, sorry. 2 snaps and 1 carry.
Yeah.
2 snaps. This is a guy that we were drafting in 6th or 7th round of fantasy football drafts all summer.
Yep.
And I would listen. I was there. Everyone told me this guy was good.
He was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looks Jaylen Warren is the 1A, Kenny Gainwell is the 1B, and Caleb Johnson is like so. To me, Kenny Gainwell is a legitimate waiver wire. I don't think Kenny Gainwell is a great player. He's okay. He's fine. But if this is going to how they're going to roll, if they're going to roll with Kenny Gainwell and Jaylen Warren, then Kenny Gainwell should be a top waiver wire pick this week. Like, part of me just goes, they can't stick. This can't be the case, right? They can't stick this, right? Like,
I mean, he was a 3rd round pick, and I liked him a lot. His tape out of Iowa was really good. So I was kind of surprised by this. Again, it's week 1. Like, this is going to be the lowest point of his career, probably. It can't get worse than 2 snaps, negative yardage. Or I guess he could be inactive, but still, like, I don't know. I think that he'll slowly but surely get more carries, but you can't trust anything that billionaire Arthur Smith does, So that was always my biggest issue there. It's like, you can't trust Arthur Smith.
I think this is where, like, again, I hate to sound like a broken record. Like, this is why people ask me why I'm concerned about drafting rookies in fantasy. Like, this is the reason why, because like for every guy who's great immediately, there's 5 guys that are getting worked in slowly. It's just normal. And so like, yeah, I drafted Caleb Johnson in 1 league in round 7, and that turned out to not be a wise selection. Because if they turn around week 2 and it's totally different, okay, great. But man, if it takes 5 or 6 or 7 weeks for him to get worked in, that was not a good pick.
No, no, it's not. Yeah, I mean, at least Henderson's playing now. By the way, I'm the guy just sniped me from Chiggy Bang Bang, because I took Cam Ward. I thought, I can get a nice stack going here. Unfortunately, that's not gonna be the case, but it's okay. It's only a tight end. I will go with our usual 16th round pick, which is Alec Pierce. Let's go. Yes, it's 3 great games this year. It's gonna pay off. Standard scoring, no Kenny Gurley, PPR, RB2, Henderson versus hapless Fish, or Pollard versus Rams. I would go with Henderson because Miami's so bad. What do you think?
Pollard looked decent. I don't know. Part of me wants to go Pollard until Henderson shows it. I struggle, but I think we've said it feels like a cop. I think Pollard is a safer pick, has higher floor. Henderson has higher upside. So it depends on if you feel like you need to shoot the moon, you feel like you're undermanned against whoever you're playing against, shoot the moon. Go with Henderson. If you feel like you got a decent team, you need a floor. I go Pollard.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, and we had a question here. Have PPR league, 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, tight end, 2 flex can be tight end. CD Lamb, Chase Brown, Bowers, JSN Pollard, Caleb Johnson, Golden, Adunze, Krosky Merritt, Josh Downs, McCarthy, Dylan Sampson, Fields, available, Quentin Johnson, Butte, Hollywood Brown, Tillman, Calvin Austin, Wandale, Gainwell, Fannin, Johnny Smith. So he's asking what we should do. I don't know would you drop Caleb Johnson already? Like,
it's a good question. I don't think I'm quite ready to drop him, just because you still, I felt the same with Tank Bigsby. Like I want to give it a week or 2 before. Like week 1 is weird. Teams, and I heard a beat reporter for the Eagles say this that I think is really helpful. Said September is pretty much the preseason now for so many teams. Like many teams, they don't practice hard. They don't do enough training camp reps. They don't do they have the controlled. They have the dual practices. So I think there's just so many teams just they're still catching up in September, which I just hate that. Like the games in September count too, guys. Like they count for seeding and playoff. But I think that's so I think to some extent you have to just recognize that. And so yeah, Caleb Johnson could be back into the mix in by week 3 or 4, and at that point, dropping him would look foolish.
Yeah, I'd still keep him. I mean, I think it's just too much of an overreaction to do it. Like he's going to get worked in at some point. Plus, like, what if Warren gets hurt? Like suddenly, like, Kenneth Gainwell's not going to handle the workload there, like the full workload. Let's see. Can't trust Arthur Smith or a symbiote mustache worm. 100%. Surely at this point in time, one cannot be surprised by the moves of the billionaire OC. I can't get over the fact that he's 3 times richer than the owner. That's just so weird. just buy the team if he wants to. Anyway, let's go to Cardinals 20, Saints 13. This is a bigger lead for Arizona, but they kind of fell asleep at the wheel at the end. Saints had 2 good drives at the end, but they didn't really get there. Murray was sick coming into the game, so kind of hard to trust anything from this team, although Harrison was really good, McBride too, and then no one else, which is like we kind of expected. And by the way, the Murray sickness kind of like reminded me of like some kid who like pretends to be sick like so he can stay home from school and play video games. Like when Murray is like, Coach, I don't want to play. I just want to stay home and play video games. I feel like that's like something that he would do. But like hopefully he is healthier next week because I like Arizona against Carolina. Benson out rushed Connor. It was 12-8. Connor said he said himself that it was going to be 1A 1B this year. So looks like that's close to the case. And then the Saints, Kamara had a good game. Which I ranked them pretty highly this week, relatively speaking. Juwan Johnson was awesome, 8 for 76. I don't trust that to continue. Chris Olave 754, but that's a concussion waiting to happen. But what are your thoughts on this game?
I don't think the Connor Benson thing is legit. I think Connor's clearly still better. Benson had one long run that was just like bad tackling, and then the rest of it, Connor was on the field twice as much as Benson and got some legit passing targets. Benson was non-existent in the passing game, so I still think that there's a gap there. The Olave looked legit good. I think that's legitimate. The Juwan Johnson stuff was a lot of dump off. The one thing I will say about the Saints offense is, we talk a lot about this. I was all about Kamara. I was fine with Kamara in the 3rd round because I was willing to take a chance. If their offense plays like this all year, then they'll be fine. Like Rattler was okay. He was not the worst quarterback on Sunday in the NFL. And like, that's a good thing for their, like he was maybe the 25th best quarterback in the league this weekend. Yeah. That's not good, but it's good enough to keep them viable, like to keep their fantasy options. It's probably the best case scenario, like for their fantasy options to be good, but the team still lose. It's still like the best case scenario for the Saints. Like, so they still look competitive. I also don't know how good the Cardinals are. Like, I wonder if it turns out that actually the Saints team's worse than we thought. And the Rattlers worse because the Cardinals defense is worse than we thought. Like, because the Cardinals defense didn't seem to put up a big fight, and kind of seemed to fall apart toward the end. I mean, the Saints kind of almost crawled back in this game after being like, the score wasn't the score wasn't this close. The game wasn't as close as the score shows. Yeah. The Cardinals really kind of dominated the game for most of the game. The Saints were able to kind of crawl back at the end there. And I wonder I think that's more about the Cardinals than the Saints.
Yeah. And again, Murray was sick. So, that could have impacted that result too. Yeah, we'll see. I don't really have much faith in the Saints team, as you know. But they were closer than expected, even though they didn't cover the spread. But I think they could be in a lot of trouble this week against the Niners. So we'll see. All right, let's go to the next game. Redskins 21, Giants 6. We talked about how bad Russell Wilson was, and you're right. Like he was atrocious. It was just so bad. Neighbors 5 for 71. Like that's actually a great stat line for how bad Russell Wilson was. Just shows you how good Neighbors is. For the Redskins, Krosky Merritt, who didn't really play in the first quarter, he ended up with 82 yards and a touchdown, so it's pretty good. Debo was the leading receiver. McLaurin did nothing. I think that's McLaurin kind of getting into shape, so I wouldn't read too much into that. Ertz scores a touchdown. Ertz is gonna be solid this year. Daniels, not like a great performance for his standards, but the Giants have a good defense. They have some really good. They have a great pass rush. for example, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Aldo Carter, Thibodeau. Like they have some great pieces in the front seven. So this is not like an easy opponent defensively. I think like people kind of forget like the Giants have such a bad offense, but they actually have like a really good defense. So what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I don't think there's any super lessons learned other than, oh my gosh, Russell Wilson is terrible at football.
Yeah.
It's really sad because the longer you stick around playing badly, the more it begins to tarnish your legacy. Like, because I think like I don't remember how good. Like, it's hard to remember how good he was because this is all I'm seeing every week. This is terrible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't imagine this is going to go much longer. Like, I just can't imagine they're going to like. Maybe this is the last week he played. Like, maybe this coming week is the last game we ever see Russell Wilson in his career. It was that bad, and as you said, the best thing about Neighbors was he got 12 targets. That's the best because we want guys to get targeted, even if they're bad teams. Getting targets, that's good. So like that's at least going to be playing his favor. Oh man, they look really bad though. So it's hard to trust any other options or even Tracy. I think Tracy's going to get pulled down a little bit because his offense is not going to be good. Yeah. As far as the Redskins, JCM, Mr. Bill, he wants to be called Bill. I just think it's so funny. But this guy, I never heard of this guy a month ago, right? Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy that this guy is going to be the leading running back. He looked fine. Like, he didn't look amazing, but he looked fine. And he looked like he's going to be if you drafted him in round 7 or 8 in your fantasy draft, he's probably going to pay off the value. And that's a big deal. I mean, yeah, right. He was being drafted around the same place that Caleb Johnson was being drafted. And I would much rather have JCM right now than Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, me too. By the way, Mac Jones just got drafted and Russell Wilson just got drafted. This is, I know it's the 20th round, but like you have to come up with something better than that. Those are just wasted picks. Like, what are you doing here? Anyway, drop Ferguson for Fannin. I don't know.
Jake Ferguson? I would.
Yeah, I will not do that either. No. I mean, like I said before, Fannin is just going to go away once Flacco's benched, which shouldn't take like too much longer. I know like Flacco wasn't bad last week, but keep in mind he's playing against the Bengals, and like the Browns have to see what they have in these rookies. Like they have to. So once they're 1-6, I think we could see Flacco get pulled, if not beforehand. Anyway, next game is Jaguars 26, Panthers 10. I heard all summer that the Panthers are going to be good this year because they kept 3 games close against the Chiefs, Eagles, and Buccaneers, even though they didn't win. No, that was not the case. Actually, this game could have been 33-3, but Bryce Young's pick 6 got overturned by a penalty, ticky-tack penalty. But still, like, even without that pick 6 counting, he went 18-35, 154, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Like that, like he was awful. He was just really bad. And this is not even a great Jaguar defense. Let me make my final pick here, and then we can move on with our lives. Bless you. You know what? I'm gonna go. Speaking of the Panthers, I'm gonna take Jalen Coker in the 20th round. I know he's out for a few weeks, but it's the 20th round. Maybe he'll do stuff later. Anyway, McMillan, okay, like considering how bad Young was, 5 for 68 again, like could have been a lot worse. You mentioned ATN, he went nuts, and then Strange was the leading receiver. Brian Thomas 1 for 11, but he scored a touchdown at least. And then Hunter 6 for 33, but he had the most targets on the team. So I'm not concerned with Hunter, as we told Patrick earlier. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, on the Jaguar side, their passing game, I'm not concerned about Brian Thomas. He had 7 targets. He did get interfered with in one play. He was clearly a part of the game plan. I think it was a little fluky, and so I also like that they got him involved. That his touchdown was a running touchdown, not even a receiving touchdown. So I like they're getting him involved there. Travis Hunter looked fine, but yeah, Travis Etienne. Listen, I have been the biggest one telling people this guy sucks. He looked legitimately good, and I have to tip my cap to you, sir. He looked terrible. He looked totally overrated and bad for 2 seasons, 2023, 2024, and then all of a sudden, in the 1 week, he decided to look good. And they traded Bigsby, which I just can't believe that. I just still can't believe they traded Bigsby instead of Etienne. I can't believe it. Yeah. So I think the Jags they're gonna be fine. Not amazing, but it'll be fine. If you draft these guys on the Carolina side, Chuba Hubbard looked great. This 16, those 57 yards, he freaking earned those 57 yards. Like, I mean, if he's on a real team, this guy is like, he's a first round quality fantasy back. Like, I think people don't realize how good Chuba Hubbard is. If Chuba was playing with the Eagles offensive line, or playing, on a real team, playing with the Lions or the Niners, playing with a real coaching staff and what they're doing, man, it'd be totally different. And so, there's going to be a limit to what he can do, but I can trust him. The rest of this team, it's just hard to know to try to trust. McMillan, by the way, one of his catches, he had an amazing catch. He was being interfered with. Basically had two guys draped all over him, and he still caught a one-handed catch. I saw that. I thought, wow. I mean, that was like kind of Odell Beckham-esque. Maybe McMillan's a real deal. Maybe he's like legit. I don't own any shares of him. I never drafted him once in best ball. I don't own him in any season-long leagues. I don't own him anywhere because I thought he was just way overdrafted. But he looked decent, and I think the numbers are going to be depressed because the offense sucks. Well, let me take that back. The numbers are depressed because Bryce Young sucks.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think McMillan actually might end up being a good player, and I certainly didn't realize that.
Yeah, is Bucky for Chuba Hubbard and Ladd McConkey a good trade?
If you're getting Chuba and Ladd, I would take that.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
I mean, I love Bucky, but
Bucky and Ladd are going about the same area, and then you get Chuba too. So having trouble picking up a tight end to claim off waivers, Fannin, Juwan Johnson, or Hunter Henry. I think I'd take him in that order. I guess it's pretty close to Fannin and Johnson. There's not much upside with Henry. This stage of his career.
I like Juwan Johnson. Well, in PPR, I think I like Johnson. In standard, I think I like Fannin a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you're half PPR or half, because Johnson was getting peppered underneath, a lot of dump off tight end type. And Fannin was not getting that necessarily.
Yeah, and that's Rattler's game. He's just going to dump passes off to the tight end.
Yeah.
So once Shuck replaces him, that's probably going to go away. So just keep that in mind. Should I trade Nico for Mecca and Jacobs? Yeah, if you can. That sounds like a great trade.
Josh Jacobs?
That's what I assume. Yeah.
I would give up Nico just for Jacobs.
Yeah.
Let alone getting a Mecca for free.
Right. yeah, I would too. I'm the guy. Shuck went round 13, Rattler undrafted, wild room. Yeah, the one guy who took Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Let me put that up on the screen again for those of you who didn't see it. Pick 11. He took Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. He only had one receiver in the first 8 rounds. His receivers are Ridley, Shaheed, Mooney, Higgins, Mims, Robinson. I don't think this guy's going to win this league. One of his first 2 picks is never going to be in the scoring. I just can't do that. And so, I and the Kai drafted 4th. Let's see who his running backs were because he only had Henry, so he went hero. So he took Eckler, Stevenson, Hunt, Algier, Doodle, and then Ty Johnson. I'm not in love with this. I don't like the hero ball strategy.
Me either.
I'd like to have 2 good running backs, and then you can take some flyers, or maybe even 3. I'm just not a fan of that strategy. But I'm the guy. It's cool to draft with you again. It's funny that you were in here, but so I knew I had to hide my picks because you were right next to me. Anyway, Ferguson or Goddard week 2. Well, Dallas plays the Giants. We just saw Ertz score a touchdown, and then Goddard plays against the Chiefs, who are notorious for allowing a ton of yardage to tight ends. So I think I'd go with Goddard, but it's close. What do you think?
It is a good question. It's a good one. I hate to be in PPR or half PPR. I think I'll go Goddard because I think he's going to get catches. They're prioritizing him, but if I'm in standard, I want to or if I need upside, I think Ferguson have more upside. Goddard has more floor. And so, yeah, if I'm in standard, I want upside. I'm going Ferguson. Ferguson did have a really clean a red zone target.
Dropped.
He dropped and then got hit in the head. Bad call, but it is what it is. So yeah, I think Ferguson is the guy that I would be leaning toward. But if I'm in PPR or I just want a floor, I'm going Goddard.
Yeah, I had Ferguson over receiving yards in the game as a prop, I bet, and he would have gone over if he caught that, but he didn't, so he went under. It's pretty rough. Anyway, and by the way, I would have hit the same game parlay last night, but I took Aaron Jones rushing over. I took the wrong Viking running back, apparently. If I took Mason over instead of Jones over with the same number, and they were the same number, just same number, I would have won our same game parlay. It would have been so nice, but good things can happen, apparently. All right, here, Bengals 17, Browns 16. Here was like the Burrow ranking, like number 20. Another bad game for Burrow in Cleveland, as usual. Brown was a little bit better. Higgins and Chase did nothing. Fant scored a touchdown. He had 5 targets randomly. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I trust that. Flacco I had a good game. Those 2 picks weren't on him. They were drops by his receivers. Judy was solid. Fannin had 9 targets. But again, once Flacco's gone, like that's not going to be anything. So I wouldn't like overreact to it. You could pick him up as like short term. Like if you have Kittle, I think he's a good Kittle replacement because by the time Kittle's back, Flacco will probably be benched. So I think that's like a good pairing. Sampson had 8 catches for 64 yards. So Judkins is going to be back. Sounds like very soon. But Judkins is not going to take the receiving work. So Sampson's going to keep getting those dump offs. I think that he'll get fewer dump offs with Gabriel because Gabriel can run around a little bit. But anyway, I'm not like rushing to draft Sampson unless like PPR. Even then, it's so like, what's the upside, you know? So what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, a lot of people seem to be liking like Fannin. To me, Fannin was not getting any of the dump off. Like whenever Flacco was looking to dump off, it was to Sampson. There was no like, so Fannin's 9 targets are more like they're a little more legitimate, like actual routes being run. But that can go away easily against a good defense. So that's why Fannin makes me like I'm not as high on him. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this of the Browns receiving or running. Like it's kind of a mess, and I just my prediction is it'll just be a mess all year. That from week to week, it's just going to be different guys, and I don't know that anyone on this team is reliable. I will say this: Tillman is one of my favorite waiver wire pickups for this week. He looked legit. On the Bengals side, yeah, the Bengals defense just wildly inconsistent. They would have moments where they would look like they'd stop Browns, and then all of a sudden they did completely fall apart, and the Browns were able to get a first down. It just several 3rd and longs that just should have been like you shouldn't give up to Joe Flacco, like the corpse of Joe Flacco out there leading a team. Yeah, Joe Burrow looked lost. Very, very odd to me. Yeah, and Chase Brown looked awesome. Kind of like Chuba Hubbard, he earned those 43 yards. It was very like it's the best 43-yard performance you'll see. Just really, just like a mediocre running back would have had 21 carries for 12 yards. Chase Brown got 43 yards on those and made it look great. Jamar Chase, 2 catches for 26 yards. Wow, if you drafted Jamar Chase in the first round, that is not what you were hoping for. Yikes. T. Higgins, you just got to imagine like this is their worst game of the year. Like this is not. You at least you hope. I mean, you hope this is going to be the case. I did last year through the first 2 weeks of the season. Joe Burrow was quarterback 29. Did you know that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And he turned it around. And so rest easy, friends.
It's definitely buy low for all these guys. Like the Bengals never start well. Like they are now in the Burrow era. They're 2-9 straight up in weeks 1 and 2. Like, and think about how good they've been. They just can't win in weeks 1 and 2. That's 2 wins.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah, they're 2 wins. By the way, is this one which they shouldn't have won, and back in 2021 against the Vikings when Dalvin Cook fumbled over midfield. Like they in overtime. Like they could easily be 0-11 right now in weeks 1 and 2. And they thought like they're like, oh, we're gonna get to a hotter start this year. We're gonna play Burrow into the second quarter of preseason games. Well, that didn't work. Like Burrow just got killed in those games and with a couple of sacks, like he could have been injured. So I don't know. This is such a joke. Anyway, how the F did the Browns lose that game? I don't know if you saw the yardage in this game. The Browns outgained the Bengals 327 to 141, and they averaged 4.6 yards per play compared to Cincinnati's 2.9 yards per play. There's one drive where Burrow took 3 sacks in a row, a 3 and out. He took 3 sacks. The Browns should have easily won this game, but they threw it away in Browns fashion. I texted Evan. I was like, "This is the most Cleveland Browns game of all time." Like, it's just like that's just what they do. You know, they can look well. Sometimes they look awful, but sometimes they look good, and they just lose because that's what the Browns do. So anyway, George Play says, "Sup guys? Someone offered me Calvin Ridley for Jacoby Myers in a non-PPR league. Should I accept it?"
Yes.
I'm receiving Ridley. Yeah, I'd rather have Ridley than Myers. Yeah.
Why would someone make that? Yes,
I'm gonna get like receiver for receiver. Like maybe you're playing bye weeks or something, but like it seems like you're just trading an orange for an orange. Like I don't get it. Like, you know, who should I pick?
In this case, a better orange for a lesser orange.
Like, right, yeah. A slightly juicier orange for an orange. Like what's the point? I don't get it. Who should I pick up? Kincaid, Kraft, Pitts, Ertz, Jonnu. I feel like we had this question. I love Kraft. I think Kraft,
absolutely.
Yeah, I love Kraft. In order, I would say Kraft. I don't know about Kincaid. I think I would said Ertz actually. Ertz is safer. It depends what you need. Maybe then Kincaid, Pitts, and then Jonnu. I'll say that this about Pitts is that he has a very easy playoff schedule. So if you want to like think long term, you have like a deep roster or something. But like there's gonna be so many games where Pitts does nothing. So
I'll say this about Pitts: he sucks, and he was drafted ahead of Michael Parsons and Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle and Penei Sewell and who else?
Everyone else that draft.
And Jamar Chase. No, Jamar Chase was taken ahead of him. I forgot.
That's that draft. What was that? Was it the
2020?
Yeah, 2020 NFL draft. Yeah, it was. Let's look at it real fast. So we had no, it was 2021, right?
2021.
Yeah, 2021.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pitts was drafted over Chase, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, Devontae Smith, Michael Parsons, Rashawn Slater. Lashmere Tucker, unfortunately, you know, he's good but injured a lot, and then you can go downward. But
you get Kyle Pitts and then like 8 potential Hall of Famers. Like no, I'm exaggerating, but like 8 like really good players like in a row. I guess it's nuts.
Yeah, here it is on screen. Imagine doing that. You know, look, Pitts had a 1,000 yard season as a rookie, so he looked like at one point he looked like he had potential, but no, there was clearly a mistake there. So yeah, poor Atlanta. He had a good game. I'll give him that. He always crushes Tampa Bay. By the way, his 2 best games last year, or 2 of his 3 best games last year, were against Tampa, and then he started off hot. So if you have Pitts, if you drafted him for some reason, I would say trade or sell high on him right now. Okay, so speaking of Pitts, Buccaneers 23, Falcons 20. So you had Pitts at 759. I actually bet his over receiving yards in this game, and it worked out. Penix had some like cool moments in this game where he like dove, like it just like Stretch Armstrong, like somehow didn't hit the ground. Bijan was bottled up, but you know that you would expect that from Tampa. Tampa is an elite run defense, but Bijan scored on a 50-yard reception. Tampa, Ibuka looks legit, like he looks awesome. So glad I drafted him in like 38% of best ball drafts. So it looks like that's going to pan out. And a lot of those was like round 8 too. Like he's going at the end, he's going like round 5, but in like around June, he's going like round 8. So. Bucky Irving. Atlanta's a good run defense too, so I wouldn't be too concerned about Bucky Irving. But like, yeah, this game should have gone to overtime. Younghoe Koo missed a 44-yard field goal, and the play before, Penix threw a perfect ball to Kadero Hodge in the end zone. Yeah, Hodge just didn't look for the ball. Like, what are you doing? Like, are you just running routes and thinking like you sucks that much that you think the quarterback's not going to pass to you? Like, that was a disgrace. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think there's a ton to learn from it necessarily. I like I think Irving's fine. A little 37 yards obviously disappointing, but yeah, he's fine. Obuk is a story on the Buccaneer side. They just, they looked for him early and often. And he actually said right before he scored the second touchdown, he's coming out of the huddle. Mike Evans talked about it, that he said in the huddle, he said, "Hey, I'm going to run a post, score a touchdown here." Like he's got a swagger about him, a bravado that's like that just plays well in the NFL. Like he's not afraid of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's awesome. The Buccaneers coaching staff almost let this game there's just really poor clock management, timeout management, like in the second half. And like that, I think that can come back and bite him a little bit. Like I think that might cap this offense a little bit. Baker didn't look as clean, as sharp as he did, for most of last year. So, hard to repeat what he did last year. So maybe this offense will be a little bit capped. But I think Obuk is going to be great. Penix, by the way, Penix looked really good. He had dumb moments, but he had some really good moments too. And so I'm pleasantly surprised. I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to be legitimate. He was the best quarterback in this game. I think he was better than Mayfield. I think probably better. And so, yeah, Robinson only having 24 yards. There are a couple moments where it's like, oh, that's a bummer. There were some yards left on the field that could have been different there. The Falcons' offensive line struggled, but he made up for it in the passing game and scored a touchdown. So, yeah, nothing too concerning here. If you are a Pitts owner, man, like just know like seven catches for 59 yards, like that might be the best. Like he had the game, like he had a great game. And it like on paper just looks okay. Like It's like 7 catches, 59. Like when you're watching the game, you're like, man, Pitts is having the game of his career. You're like, oh yeah, I would have thought he had like 125 yards, and you're like, oh, he had 59. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he's not good. Like if you can get like I don't know, it looked better than what the stat sheet maybe is telling us.
Yeah, he's not good. I think we could say that. I would sell high on him, like I said. By the way, Atlanta outgained Tampa 358 to 260. So there's a game they threw away. So it's a shame. Anyway, next game is here we go. Colts 33, Dolphins 8. The Colts scored in every possession. The Dolphins scored on no possessions until garbage time. There's at one point in this game, I think Ingold had one fewer target than Hill and as many targets as Waddle and one more target than Achane. Typical Mike McDaniel, who just looks lost. Who's Rex Ryan said Mike McDaniel's a nerd who doesn't belong in the NFL. So, which I agree with. This guy's, I think, could be the first coach fired. This Miami team looks so bad. And then with the Colts, Daniel, I don't know what to expect from the Colts. Like they played the worst team in the NFL. Like, is this sustainable? Probably not. But they look better in this game than they ever did last year. So, I think the main takeaway though, Tyler Warren, 9 targets, 7 for 76. This guy's awesome. This guy's legit. And another takeaway, by the way, Daniel Jones at the 1 yard line snuck in twice. That is not good news for Jonathan Taylor. So, what are your thoughts here?
Jonathan Taylor will be fine. I drafted him in the second round in 2 leagues, and I know you were not a fan of him in the second round. He'll be fine. I think he's going to produce. Yeah, he had almost 100 scrimmage yards. So, yeah, Daniel Jones got those. I think, touchdowns will come from him. He also had, multiple targets. So I like Jonathan Taylor. If the offense is functional like they were on Sunday, Jonathan Taylor is going to be a top 8, top 9 running back. And so, the numbers don't show that in this game. So I think he's actually a great trade target. I think Michael Pittman's actually functional. If this is the offense, they're 80 yards and a touchdown is great. Tyler Warren, as you said, functional. So they don't have to be – Daniel Jones does not have to be amazing for these guys to pay off fantasy value. He just has to be functional. And he looked functional. I mean, am I crazy to say this looked like maybe Daniel Jones' best game ever? Yeah. I mean, there were a couple games he had, like his rookie year, he had a couple good moments. His second year in the league, he had a really good game against the Eagles.
Yeah, 2022 when they went to the divisional round of the playoffs, he obviously had some good games against the Vikings. Remember the first round game where he upset Minnesota? Like that was a really good game.
Yeah. So there's a good, but like this is one of the best games he's played in his career. But the only thing, the bottom line is it's hard to know. Is it the defense they were playing and the ineptness of the offense, or or was it the defense, or was it or is they're really good? And it feels a little hard to tell after 1 week.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right. We have Packers 24, Lions 6. This is the Lions were my regression candidate of the year. I bet them to not make the playoffs, so it looks good right now. We'll see what happens, but this is a team with 2 new coordinators and 2 new interior linemen, and that offense looked completely lost. I know the Packers have Micah Parsons, but like the Lions of last year, if they had played Green Bay here, this Green Bay team, like they would have scored way more points than this, and 6 points. So I think the Lions are in trouble. And I'm glad I avoided most of them in fantasy drafts. Like I drafted Gibbs here and there. I like out of 200 drafts, I just drafted Jameson Williams once. I drafted St. Brown like 1 or 2 times. I never drafted Laporta. And never drafted Montgomery. So I'm just glad I avoided these guys. Packers, Jacobs look good. It's like a whole mismatch of like receivers. Like it feels like they're all inconsistent. We talked about Kraft in a question. I like him still. Golden didn't play that much, but I feel like that's going to change as the year progresses. So what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, the Jordan Love looked very sharp, very good decision making. The stats, 188 yards doesn't show. He played really good in this game. Josh Jacobs was great in this game. Again, it was only 66 yards because they didn't need to do a lot. I mean, they were just kind of controlling the game. The Packers receiving core is exactly what we thought it was coming in. Like we talked about this in the summer a bunch. Like they got a bunch of number 3s and no number 1s, and there's all a mix, and they're going to mix and match. And everyone told me how great Golden was, and he had that great preseason game that shot up his draft board, or shot him up the draft boards. Shot him up. Is that the right language? Anyway, he gained momentum in the draft boards. And this is it. Again, this is another example why I don't like taking. I think rookies are always overdrafted. Like they take a while to acclimate to the NFL, even the good ones. And I just think the best receiver for the Packers on Sunday was Romeo Doubs. Like he was the best receiver. Made one really great catch and then one kind of average whatever catch. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, this team is they're gonna just throw the ball to 10 different guys a week, and that's what they did last year. That's what they did. That's what they've done 2 back-to-back seasons with Jordan Love at quarterback, and they've picked up right where they left off. Like there's no reason to think that's not going to be the case. So it's just like for best ball, having Packers receivers is great. Like you want a couple of guys, but man, for season long, like you never know when to plug in who.
Right.
And so it's not fun. On the Lions side, oh man, this offensive line they struggled. This offensive line that is like been really good. So yeah, it's hard to know. Is that Ben Johnson, or is it something else, or is it a combination? Maybe it's a combination of things. Jahmyr Gibbs had some holes that he missed. He got hit in the backfield a couple times. Yeah, kind of a mess. Although it was, Jahmyr Gibbs did get bailed out in PPR. So if you're in a PPR league, you got 10 catches. I mean, that's kind of like, but it's like it was just it was garbage. Like it was just like, Jared Goff is under pressure and he just like dumps it off. Like he's kind of running around with his chicken, like a chicken with his head cut off and just dumps it off. Like it's just not replicable. What's the English word? I don't know. You can't imagine that's not a way you don't want to depend on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It feels a little bit messy. I wouldn't give the benefit of the doubt that like maybe they'll kind of clean it up. But they have a lot of talent. But man, it felt messy.
I compared it to like an attractive girl gets a haircut, and it's like it's still the same person, it's the same people here, but like doesn't look nearly as good. Sure. I think it has to be combinations. It can't be just one thing yet. They lost. Frank Ragnow is one of the best centers in the NFL. He's gone. Kevin Zeitler was awesome for them last year at guard. He's gone. Ben Johnson, like we saw what he did. He's gone. Like Johnson would have figured out way more ways to score here in this game, and he was just not there. So, and even like Gibbs got those 10 catches, but like PPR wise, that's only 15 total PPR points in this game. Like that's not good for where you drafted him. Like in the one PPR league I'm in, he went number 1 overall in that draft. Like the person who drafted him is not going to be happy with those 15 points. And And so, like, yeah, he's going to have better games, but this stat line, he had a 14-yard run. The other carries were 8 for 5. So it's not good. And Montgomery had more carries than him. I thought Gibbs was going to be the starter. That's all we heard. Like Gibbs running with the ones now, but Montgomery somehow had more carries than Gibbs. So it's not good. No,
I mean, so many teams, if you're 50, it's 50. So many teams are 50-50. Like, how many NFL teams have one real true quarterback or one true running back? Like,
yeah,
there's like this. That's just sort of the nature of it. So, Gibbs he has to produce what he gets, and they didn't do that. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think when you told me in the summer that you bet them not to make the playoffs, I thought that was a little crazy. I'm like, that feels like a little. That feels, but like I certainly I expect regression. Yeah, that makes sense. But like to not make the playoffs felt like an extreme. But it's one game. But man, what we saw in that one game was not great. Not great.
Yeah, it was plus 190 odds, by the way. So it was not like a coin flip. It's like almost 2-1. So, is Butte weekly receiver 2 started? Debating using my first waiver priority on him. I don't know about receiver 2. Maybe receiver 3 flex at this point. We'll see. It's just one game, and like he has to prove himself still. I just it seems like May likes to throw to him more than the other guys, and like the other guys are Diggs coming out to 20 ACL, and Damari Douglas is just PPR. It was just a slot PPR guy, like Butte. I said this before. Butte was once considered like a top 15 draft prospect, and he just had a horrible year. He fell off a cliff and with his draft stock. But like maybe he's just finally coming around, living up to his potential. So, I think there's major upside here, but there's a low floor too. So just be careful.
He would be like my 8th or 9th favorite waiver wire pickup for this week. I think he could be valuable. There's a bunch of other guys, depending on what your league is, but I think it's highly unlikely that he would be my first waiver wire guy.
Yeah, I think I had him higher. I didn't have that many waiver wire pickups because my rule is like if someone's owned in 50% of ESPN leagues, I don't put them on the list. So like Justin Fields would be number 1, but he's 70% owned. Someone brought up earlier. Butte was he was number 4 for me. I had Keenan Allen, Bashaw Tutin, then Marquise Brown ahead of him. But like a lot of other guys, I felt like were owned in most leagues. So.
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of guys that I would take ahead of him. I think.
Like who?
Yeah, I mean Hollywood Brown, Cedric Tillman, Romeo Doubs, Quentin Johnston. Like those are all receivers I'd take ahead of him right now.
See, I just like Quentin Johnston. I think was owned in more than 50% of ESPN leagues. That's why I didn't include him on the list. I think.
No, he's only owned 4%. I looked at him today.
Quentin Johnston's only on 4%. I must have looked at the wrong player then.
Well, maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm dumb.
I'm gonna look right now and see because I'm not sure. Yeah, 4%. You're right. Yeah. Wow, I must have looked at the wrong player. Okay, yeah, he should be on the list for sure. Who else did you say?
Hollywood Brown's only 50%.
I had him there.
Cedric Tillman, I think, is in 20-something%. I saw 28% is what I have. Is that right?
I have 42.5%, but with Tillman, I like Tillman. It's the same issue with Flacco. Once Flacco's benched, this is going to go away. That's my problem there. So,
Romeo Doubs owned in 19% of leagues. It's the same situation. We talked about it already with the Packers. Like, you just don't know when you just don't know when to start these guys because you don't know who the touchdown is going to. It's just going to vary from week to week. It seems like. Yeah, those are the receivers I think I would take ahead of Butte. Unless for some reason you're just really desperate at receiver and need like some upside play.
Yeah, I guess it's just me remembering Butte at LSU and how good he was, but I don't know. Remember berries, I think. Anyone talk about Bourne yet? Well, he just signed with the Niners, but like he couldn't make the Patriots roster, so I'm not like super excited about him, and plus like Juwan Jennings is day to day, so like it's still Pearsall and Jennings there. So like he at best he's the 3rd receiver right now. But they still have MVS as well, so he has to beat him. So guys, who do you think wins this trade? Jacobs and Judy for Marvin Harrison and ATN. I think Judy's a non-player for me, so I would go Marvin Harrison and ATN.
What do you mean by non-player? I don't know what that means.
Just because like same thing with every round, because like once Flacco leaves, Judy's not gonna do anything,
Okay. Oh man, I don't know. Jacobs I think is awesome, and he's one of my favorite players in the in football. I just don't. That to me, the wild card is ATN. I don't know how good ATN is actually going to be, and I think
Yeah.
that's the trouble with. I don't know how to value. I don't know how to evaluate ATN right now.
Yeah, I think it's a close trade, but I think Harrison is going to have a big year. Yeah, and also as a bonus, he has a great fantasy schedule, so a playoff schedule. So just keep that in mind too. But it's a close trade.
Yeah, it might. You might be right. I'm not helpful in that because I don't know how to evaluate ATN right now.
Yeah. All right. Next game: Broncos 20, Titans 12. The Titans were the biggest underdog of the week, but they were favored in the fourth quarter when the Broncos muffed the punt. It was 13-12, and they were in the field goal range, and then sack, and then at midfield. So that didn't go well. And then RJ Harvey had a 50-yard run, and then that was it. Did you see the clips of Cam Ward's dad in the stands?
No.
like the Titans dropped like a million passes in the game, and like actually he threw his hat and it's just like this like he was not having a good day. Like he was very upset. Like every time the Titans receiver dropped the ball, like they'd pan to him, and like it's just like he was just like visibly so upset. It's like so funny just watching it, and like you can feel his pain because like this 12 or 28 should have been so much better. They dropped like a million passes. It's so bad. I'm not gonna read too much into this. Ridley 4 for 27. He was going against Patrick Surtain. Like this is going to be his worst game of the year. I expect him to be better. Pollard, like you said earlier, he looked solid. And then and plus tough matchup still. This Harvey Dobbins thing, I think eventually it's going to flip. I just don't know when. But Dobbins has a bad injury history, so whenever Dobbins goes down, Harvey's just going to take off. But and then Sutton, I love Cortland Sutton this year. Knicks is just like target, like locked in on him. 6 for 61. I think we bet his over receiving props. I think it was like 53 or something, and so it almost got there, but he almost didn't get there. But like he saw 9 targets, so I like Sutton PPR. So what are your thoughts on this game?
Cam Ward, by the way, looked to have some really good moments and then really bad moments. I mean, it's the first game as a rookie quarterback. You expect that. So there are moments where you're like, "Ooh, he looked terrible," but then there are moments where you're like, "Well, actually, like I get why he's the number one pick in the draft. Like that's awesome." And so, yeah, I think they're going to be fine. I think he'll be fine if they can get build around him. Pollard looks solid. Yeah, he's not going to not ton of upside, but I think he's solid there. I don't want any of the receiving weapons if I can avoid it. Like I just like Ridley's okay, but like man, if he's your wide receiver too, ooh, that hurts. So not a lot to learn there. On the Denver side, I think there's some lessons to be learned here. One, I think RJ Harvey sucks. I don't overreact. Gosh, but he had one run that kind of was like it was like a kind of like a busted play on the defense. And then like the rest of it, he had 5 carries for 20 yards. It like just like he did not look good to me. Dobbins looked clearly like more decisive, looked better. And until Dobbins is injured, I don't know that it'll. You're saying like you think it'll flip? Like I don't know that it'll flip until Dobbins is injured. The other thing, man, dude, Bo Nix sucks. Like Bo Nix sucks. I don't know if Armac is on the comment thread here, man, but let me tell you, ooh, yikes! If you're a Broncos fan, he's not good. He made some really bad decisions. I don't do this anymore. I used to track. I used to track the should have been interceptions.
That's my favorite thing you used to do.
I don't have the time. I used to watch every single game and track.
Three kids changes that, huh?
What was that?
3 kids changes that, right?
I still watch a lot of football. I'm still sitting in front of red zone with my notepad and rewatching game. My wife's like, "What are you doing? It's 2 a.m." But dude, he had at least 2 should have been interceptions. So he had 2 interceptions. Should have been 4. Like, dude. And so Sutton was great. The rest of it's like I don't know if you could trust anyone else in this lineup. Like, because this guy sucks. And the Broncos defense is legit good, by the way. Like they're I don't know if they're the best defense in football, but man, they're like legitimately really good. They fly to the ball, they tackle well, good pressure. Yeah, man. If they had a viable quarterback, this team could be like a legit contender in the AFC. But not with Bo Nix. Not right now.
I agree with your assessment of Knicks in this game. I'll say this as a defense for Denver. It's brought up like Zach Taylor's record in weeks 1 and 2. Sean Payton, by the way, since he came back from his suspension for Bountygate, in weeks 1 and 2, he is 3-19-1 against the spread in weeks 1 and 2. It's another guy who just doesn't prepare his team for weeks 1 and 2. So we could see Denver get better in weeks 3. What'd you say?
Like, I don't understand that. Like, what do you got? Like, what?
I don't know. I don't get it.
You have all summer. What are you doing?
Apparently not preparing for weeks 1 and 2. I don't get it. I don't understand either. And he's had multiple games where he's lost as a double-digit favorite. Mostly to Tampa, but he almost lost this one too. Like, that would have been a horrible loss. And everyone had Denver in Survivor too. I was really rooting for Tennessee to go through. Anyway, couple questions here. 10-man non-PPR. Kittle out. Do I draft Kittle, Kraft, Ferguson, Goddard, or do I take Ertz, Henry, Juwan, or Fannin? Well, I talk about like how Fannin is a good match for Kittle because once he comes back, Flacco's going to be benched, so then you can't really use Fannin anymore. But you have Kraft and Ferguson and Goddard available, I think are better than Fannin, at least long term. So of those three, I like Kraft the best. I actually like them in the order you listed them: Kraft, Ferguson, Goddard. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I Kraft is like legit, like should be owned in all leagues.
Yeah, for sure. This is a 10-teamer, so yeah, I can understand why he's available. But yeah, where would you rank Joshua Palmer in your waiver pickups? What did he do real quick? What did he do? I forgot. He had 5 for 61, nine targets, but they threw a lot because they were behind. I don't know. I'd rather have Boutte than Palmer.
What's his ownership, by the way? I don't think he's
Joshua Palmer is 13% owned.
I would have thought it would be more than that. Yeah, I'm not running out to get Joshua Palmer. Between Palmer and Boutte, it's probably close for me. Only because maybe I trust the offensive more with Bills. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not like excited about Palmer right now either. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not too excited. He's just okay. Should I trade Nico for Emeka and Jacobs? I think we answered this. Yes, definitely. Okay. Next game.
If you can get that. I mean, yeah. If I'm the Emeka Jacobs owner, I'm not giving them up for Nico.
Yeah, me neither. All right. Niners 17, Seahawks 13. More injuries for the Niners. They just like keep adding up. Kittle out. He was placed in IR. Jennings is day to day. We'll see if he can play. Interesting enough, like McCaffrey is like one of the few guys who is not hurt somehow, but that's going to change. He has chronic Achilles tendonitis in both feet. So good luck if you own him. Pearsall is a stud. He should have had a touchdown, but the defender knocked it away last second. So he could have had like 5 for 115 and a touchdown. Like that would have been nuts. For Seahawks, so we talked about Charbonnet versus Walker already. We don't need to rehash that. JSN, he had 124 receiving yards. No one had more than 15 except for him. That's crazy. Cup 2 for 15. He was targeting the end zone. I'll say that. That's like the one good thing about this game for him. But this is what you're going to get from Cup. 2 for 15, 3 for 25. Like this is going to be that's all he has in the tank. So drop Cooper Kupp if you have him for some reason. If you've been listening to the show, you don't have him. But if you're tuning in for the first time, you have Cooper Kupp, drop him. So what are your thoughts on this game?
JSN, my boy. I love him. As much as I touted him, I only got him in one league in my 4 leagues because just he went higher than I expected him. It's a bummer. But yeah, JSN paid off. He's awesome. He's all over the field. I love that they're moving him around. He's in the slot. He's on the left side, right side. They're moving him around a lot. I think that's so great. Sam Darnold still is been. Sam Darnold had 150 yards passing, 124 of it to JSN. It's just like pretty crazy. Yeah, we already talked about Walker Charbonnet. I'm convinced it's going to be 50-50 all year until one of them gets hurt. The 49ers, McCaffrey looked good, looked decent. Really, honestly, the Niners should have lost this game.
Well, they just kept their field goal kicker missed again. They just don't trust this guy. They actually caught him today.
They should have lost this game. Brock Purdy actually had a really nice fourth quarter, particularly the drive. he looked very like okay, like for most of the game, Purdy looked fine. Like, it's good. He's a mediocre game manager. And then in the fourth quarter, he looked like a legit elite quarterback. Like, oh, okay, all of a sudden, Josh Allen is playing for the Niners for the last 4 minutes of the game. Like, listen, I got to give props where props is due. So if Purdy has that in him, which I doesn't seem to come out often. Like, if you've got the ability to like really be a gunslinger, and then I was wondering, is that just his like, is that the coaching, or is it just that he just caught lightning in a bottle that one day, or like, because he looked like legit. If you watch this game, you're like, the version of Brock Purdy in the last drive, the last few minutes looked very different. And I can't figure out why. Like, why? Where's that version of Purdy the rest of the game?
Yeah. It's the opposite of Garoppolo. Remember, he used to start hot and then just wilt in the fourth quarter. So, it works, I had a thought on this game. It just kind of slipped my mind. Anyway, maybe I'll think about it. Jordan, as Coleman or Dante Thornton? I think you have to say Coleman at this point. I like Thornton long term. Coleman looked great, but it was one game, so just keep that in mind. But Coleman was being drafted before Thornton anyway in redraft. So
yeah.
I would say Coleman.
Coleman looked really good actually Sunday night. I was really surprised.
He looked good. He looked awful last year, but he looked good. Nino says I got the number one priority this week and need receiver. Already, but is Butte, QJ, Austin, Elec worth using number one, or wait another week and grab whoever makes it out? And he needs receiver help. So if you wait a week and you don't get the receiver help, you could be in trouble. So I think QJ and then Butte in that order, or maybe or reverse. I think they're both worth picking up. But what do you think? Should he use his number one priority or wait?
It's a good question. You never know what's gonna. I think if you're in serious trouble right now, just go for it. Like, don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd go. Yeah, it depends how badly you need receivers. So
yeah,
I agree with that. I remember I was going to say, who said that you should avoid Jackson Smith and Jigba at all costs this season?
Jump cuts, man.
Mr. Jump Cuts. This is number one bust because he said, you can't draft Jackson Smith and Jigba. They got Cooper Kupp. I was like, okay, this guy is a huge following. Why? Receivers right now are Neighbors, Reek, Diggs, Downs, all in scary spots. Well, you got Tyreek Hill, I think. Stephon Diggs. Well, Diggs has Miami this week, so it could be good. And then Downs wasn't completely healthy in week 1, so maybe he bounces back in week 2. Although it is Denver, so you have to be worried about that.
Starting two, these guys.
Yeah, if you're starting 2, I think you're okay. If you're starting 3, then maybe you go for it. But even still, like who are you playing QJ over? You're like not Neighbors. And I don't think you're playing him over Diggs against Miami. And then you're not. I think you have to try Hill. You're not going to play QJ. So I think you wait on your priority.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree. Yeah. You're not going to play QJ over any of these guys except Downs.
Yeah, except Downs. Yeah. Should I trade Achane and Walker for Genty and Hollywood? I have Charbonnet. We'll be keeping him. I have Bryce on the bench. All right. So I think you should. Look, I love Achane's talent, but Miami looks awful, and we saw Walker cede a lot of carries to Charbonnet, and Genty, is going to get the touches. Genty is the real deal, and then Hollywood Brown, he's for 4 weeks he'll be fine, and then you won't get anything out of him. But right. It's tough, man. I'm so down on Walker, and I'm so down on Miami. So.
Yeah, I'm equally down on Miami. I'm not equally down on Walker. So, but I think Genty is, and I would think it's close. It kind of comes down to roster construction to some extent. If I was confident Hollywood Brown's going to give you something beyond week 4, then that makes it an easier trade for me to make. I'm not sure how much Hollywood Brown's going to give you once Rice comes back.
Yeah, I tried to get a better second piece than Hollywood Brown, unless you also have, he is Rice. So, I think it works out sort of, and if Rice gets hurt again, he can go back to Hollywood Brown. So maybe you do it. I think I'd lean toward doing it. Are you still holding Torrey Horton and Tesla over Quentin Johnson, Butte, and Troy Franklin? I think I'd rather have Johnson and Butte at this point than them. And add tight end Brenton Strange over Fan and Jawan Johnson. Yeah, like I said before, Brenton Strange has more upside. But Fan is going to go away when Flacco's benched. And then are you still holding Ollie Gordon? Yes, I am for now. Like I drafted Ollie Gordon in a DraftKings draft tonight at like round 14 or so. Just because his talent, but like Miami's so bad. But like maybe if they fire McDaniel, like and suddenly look a little bit better, maybe that's some hope. But Gordon's really good. Like he's a really good talent. So I don't know. And it also depends on what you need. Like if you're in a pickle and like you have to cut him, then you have to cut him. But I would try to hold on to him if I could.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, next game is Texans Rams 14, Texans 9. We heard rumors that Houston's offensive line is going to be terrible this year, and that was the case. They couldn't block for Stroud. Only 9 points here. The Rams just all over him. Stafford's back looked fine. That's the biggest takeaway for me in this game. Nakua just a heroic effort, just like blood streaming down his face the entire game. That was awesome. Kyron Williams scored a touchdown. So, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I was never concerned about Stafford's back. Maybe that's just my propensity to just ignore reports. Okay. Like Kyron Williams looked great. Yeah, it's the Kyron Williams show. The one thing I do walk away from this game thinking about Kyron Williams is like he has had so many touches over the last 2 years. Like they make no effort to spell him. Just like 2 other running backs had 1 carry each. So you're just like, you wonder how long does that go before there's a major injury? Like that does make you a little bit nervous, but whatever. If you own him, you're going to ride it and you love it. Right. Nakua was great. Devontae Adams looked good in this game. Kind of a funnel offense, like no real like depth pieces are getting any fantasy action. It's worthy of anything. Like there's not going to be a third receiver or tight end that you want to play on this team. I will say, but the Texans, I will say the interior of the offensive line was decent against the run. Like they did open up some holes. The tackles are terrible against the run and the pass. So just if only they had a Pro Bowl caliber tackle on the team that they could have held on to. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. My earpiece is telling me that they traded one away in the offseason. What was that? I don't know why teams do what they do. I don't know. What do I know? Yeah. So I actually have a little bit of hope for their run game. Nick Chubb looked bad. Like there's enough holes in this game where like Nick Chubb should have had 100 yards rushing. Like he could have, but the explosion is just not there. He's just not the same guy. So
yeah,
that's just not a reality. This passing game, not only was Stroud under duress, like under being obviously the Rams have a great pass rush, so it probably won't be that bad every week, but I think it could be bad most weeks. Like Stroud is under pressure every other play. He's under pressure, and he's just like you can't have a functional offense, man. And so like I don't know what his ADOT was, his average depth of target. If anyone I didn't look at his ADOT chart. It couldn't have been much though, because he's just like dumping the ball off to quick throws of receivers, quick he just like needed to get the ball out of his hands quick. So yeah, just and he didn't look sharp, so it's hard to know. Was it Stroud playing bad or was it just being under pressure? Like because that can make you play bad, obviously. So I don't know, man. Like the passing game seems like kind of a mess right now. And for those of us who have Nico Collins, I drafted Nico Collins a lot in best ball. I got a lot of Nico Collins in the bottom of the first or early second round. I don't have any season long leagues, but I have a lot in best ball, and I got a lot of CJ Stroud too in best ball. I got him in like 26% of leagues, so like he's one of my top owned quarterbacks. So I think he's my 4th most owned quarterback. So yeah, that's not exactly an ideal situation. Kind of a mess if you own a lot of the receiving weapons in Houston. Yeah, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, well, I'm just jealous of your earpiece. Apparently, you have an earpiece. I don't. No one's talking in my head. I'm very jealous. All right, we have the game of the year. I think Bills
Man, what a
41.
great game this was. It was so fun to
Yeah,
watch.
great game, unless you had Ravens plus Ravens -1 like I did. I was like, oh, this is
Sorry.
great win for me here. And you know what the killer is? The Ravens opened +1.5. So had it gotten the opening line, I would have covered the spread. But like I said, good things can happen. It was a great great performance here by the Bills at the end. Although I would say this, if Derrick Henry doesn't fumble, the Bills don't win that game. So
That's right.
And that is I mentioned before, there are like three guys. I'm looking at DFS this week, and it's gonna be hard to play all three because their salaries are so high. But Henry's the other one. And like he embarrassed himself with that fumble. So I think that he's going to go nuts against the Browns. Anyway, I mean, he looked great. As for a 31-year-old, that was amazing. I don't know how he keeps doing it. I worry it can hold up for a whole year. But right now, he looks awesome. Lamar Jackson looked fantastic. He only threw 19 times, but he ran 6 for 70 and a touchdown. Zay Flowers did all the receiving work. He's electric. Hopkins had a great catch. I was shocked that Andrews didn't do anything. I thought maybe coming off that embarrassing performance, maybe catch a touchdown at least, like a token touchdown. He did nothing. And then the Bills side, Allen was fantastic in the fourth quarter. We talked about Keon Coleman already. Shakir solid. Palmer solid. James Cook 100 overall yards and a touchdown. Kincaid scored. There's a lot going on here. What's your takeaway here?
This was such a fun game to watch just as a fan. Like, this was so great. I'm watching this with my 1-month-old son in hand. It was great. Yeah, I don't think there's not like a lot of lessons to learn from this game. Like, everyone who you expected to be great was great. Lamar looked great. Derrick Henry was great, other than the fumble. I mean, he produced the numbers you want. 169 with 2 touchdowns. It's great. Lamar was doing it on the ground. Zay Flowers just balling out. Freaking loving it. I'm a little surprised that we got nothing from Andrews and from Bateman. Like nothing at all. A little surprising, but I expect them to get a little bit. Andrews is my number 1 owned tight end in best ball. So let's hope that turns around. Josh Allen is is it safe to say he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now? Is that fair?
I would still say Mahomes. I don't know. I'd
say Mahomes.
Yeah,
dude, Allen was awesome in this game. I thought he was awesome in this game. Cook was good. And so Keenan. I think the lessons learned in this game is Keenan Coleman seems legit to me. I mean, the 8 catches, 112 yards was legit. It wasn't fluky. And you know what? He almost scored at the end there. I mean, it would have been, another 10 yards and a touchdown. It actually would have been a disaster for the Bills. They give the ball back to the Ravens.
I know the defenders should have let him score.
I was like, and so he looked really good. Shakir, I was actually really high on Shakir. I drafted him quite a bit. He should have had a much better game. Some drops there, some miscommunications. I thought Shakir was going to be the clear number 1 going into the year. I think it's going to be Coleman. I think I was wrong. I think 1 game is enough data I think Coleman's the number 1 guy there. I'm in one league where I actually have Brian Robinson and Tank Bigsby, and there's another guy in the league who has Zay Flowers, and he has Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. He drafted Barkley in the first round, McCaffrey in the second round, and he drafted Zay Flowers in round 4. Oh, wow. His team is awesome. But I offered him Tank Bigsby and Brian Robinson and Khalil Shakir for Zay Flowers. He probably won't take it because it'd be dumb to take it. But my pitch to him was, hey, don't you want to have the handcuffs of both of your running backs?
Well, look, I mean, dumber trades have been accepted, So
we'll see.
You have to throw some dumb trades out there. I know that, like, real quick on So Rare, which I mentioned to you a few times, people can actually trade their cards. I actually get some good offers sometimes, but like I get some really dumb offers like on occasion. They're like someone's like, hey, can you give me your Juan Soto and Pete Crow Armstrong for like 12 bums? I'm like, I'm never gonna use these. They're not gonna win any money off these guys. Like, come on. Anyway, I don't know. You get frustrated with that sometimes. John Sanders is at the game live. That's awesome, John.
Oh,
That's really
nice.
cool. Very cool. Hope you had. I'm sure you had a lot of fun. Nino says it got offered Hurts plus McLaurin plus Aaron Jones for CMC and Diggs. I would be terrified to take on CMC. No way. He's gonna be out by like week 5. He's he has chronic Achilles tendonitis in both feet, not just one Achilles, but both. That is very troubling. Any thoughts there? Do you agree?
Yeah, I would not want to touch. I would not want to touch those guys. By the way, that league I was talking about, ready to trade, it's a 2 quarterback league. That's the reason why I was giving it. But
okay.
Yeah, I would not want to make that. I would not want to take on CMC.
Yeah. Yeah. Do I trade Harvey and Ladd for Walker and Wilson? Okay, I assume Garrett Wilson, not Russell Wilson. Man, I really don't like Walker here, but I don't like Harvey that much either. But Harvey, like, we know Dobbins is going to get hurt at some point because he always gets hurt. So, like, eventually Harvey will take over, and Ladd's going to be solid but not great because there's so many mouths to feed now in the Chargers. I don't know. I think I'd rather keep Harvey and Ladd personally.
Harvey and Ladd for Walker and Wilson.
Well, actually, no. Man, try to get someone better than Walker, and then I do it. I don't know.
I don't know that your team is dramatically better or different. Like, I don't want to make trades unless it's actually our teams actually getting better and helpful to one another. Like, I really want to do mutually beneficial trades because I think those are the trades that work out. And so, like, or you just throw slop at guys. Here's Bigsby and Robinson and Shakir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably the best game I've been to. That 31-0 game against the Patriots in 2003, though, was right up there. Yeah, this is the Lawyer Malloy revenge game. That was awesome. Yeah. Brady threw 4 picks in that game.
And you started 0-2, and they went on to win the Super Bowl anyway.
That year the Patriots started 2-2. That second game in that year they played the Eagles in Philadelphia, and the Patriots beat the Eagles in that second game.
Okay, right. The Eagles started 0-2 that year.
Yes, because they lost to Tampa and then the Patriots, and then the Patriots started 2-2. They lost to the Washington, and then they ran the table the rest of the way. They didn't lose a single game. And the cool thing was that 31-0 game in week 1, they played the Bills in week 17. And they won 31-0. It's perfect symmetry. I thought it was amazing. And it was almost the Bills almost scored at the last play in that game. But I think Izzo, it was Izzo who got like the interception or knocked the ball down. He did something, but that was like pure bookend. I thought that was like, it was like almost like too perfect. It's like, are we in a simulation here? Like what's going on here? I'd be giving up CMC. Okay. Yes. Then I would take the Hurts side of that trade totally.
I would absolutely do that. Yeah.
Yeah. My other running backs are Hampton, Henderson. I feel it's for the stack. Okay. So, so he wants Wilson because he has Fields. Okay, I get it. I don't know. I feel like Fields is going to get hurt. Like he always gets hurt. So I'd be careful with Wilson. Okay, so let's not talk about what happened after. Yeah, they beat us 31-0. Yeah, exactly. All right, we have 2 more games to go. Viking. It's the last game here. Vikings 27, Bears 24. The Vikings looked awful through 3 quarters. McCarthy was not doing anything. It was misfires, passes batted down. He had that horrible pick 6. Just stare down the receiver. He's got easily intercepted. He looked terrible. I was posting like memes on Twitter. It was so much fun, and I was just reverse jinxing the whole time because I had a big play. I had a big bet, not like a big bet, but medium-sized bet on the Vikings. So I was really hoping for that to come through, and it did. I think I contributed to that win. So I feel like I should have gotten the game ball instead of McCarthy. Mason, I think the big takeaway: Mason 15 carries, Jones 8 carries. I know that like Jones caught 3 passes, and Mason only caught 1 pass, but and it seemed like they rotated drives. So like, if you drafted Jones, you have to feel bad, and if you drafted Mason, you're like, oh, I didn't know that Mason would out carry Jones. I thought it would be even maybe. So you kind of have to feel good about that. For the Bears, Caleb Williams had a nice first drive and then like nothing. He was just like really bad after that. He did run well, I'll say that. And DJ Moore, even though he led the team in receiving, he had 5 targets. Odunze had 9. That's something we saw in the second preseason game when the Bears played the whole first half. Odunze had way more targets than Moore. So this is like, one is an accident, 2 is a trend sort of deal. I think Odunze is more talented than Moore. You think about like where Moore was drafted, he was the 24th overall. Odunze was the number 9 pick in a loaded draft. And Charlie Campbell even talked to teams and they were like, yeah, Odunze is super close to neighbors in Harrison. So like Odunze's talent, I think will shine through. And I think he'll be the number 1 by the end of the year, or at least it's hard to tell, but and so like Zacchaeus, by the way, playing over Luther Burden still. So what are your thoughts on this game?
The Zacchaeus targets, by the way, that we're also like, he's never like, they're not scheming for him. Like he's the 3rd or 4th guy and he's just kind of getting bad. So that goes away eventually. I would imagine. I agree with you. Odunze is legit. I mean, is anyone saying that DJ Moore is going to be the number 1 guy indefinitely? Maybe there are guys out saying that.
Well, he's still being drafted before Odunze. Let's actually look at. We can look where they were drafted because that's kind of instructive. I think Odunze was drafted at 6'12", and Moore was drafted at 5'04".
Oh yeah, you're right. All right, so that's,
I would reverse those.
Yeah. Although I don't think I'd take either one of them in the 5th round, to be honest. I
agree with that.
Yeah, I'd want to take Odunze early 6th and Moore maybe mid to late 6th would be my.
I could have drafted Odunze 6'10". I didn't. I took Charbonnet, but I would have taken Odunze 703. So
yeah,
I just love Charbonnet that much.
Yeah. So I think there's like the lessons that we learned. This is the thing about Caleb. We talked about this with Caleb Williams so many times last year. I said this over and over again last year. Caleb Williams does not look like the best quarterback in that draft last year. Of the 5 guys drafted in the first round, I can make an argument for easily for 3 of them, if not 4 of them, being better than him. I'm like, I don't see it with this guy. I don't see it. I don't. There are these moments where he does a phenomenal thing where it's like, oh, that looked like Patrick Mahomes. That looked like, the razzle dazzle. He flips it to the. Okay, great. But like the rest of the time, he just looks like a guy. And like you're not anything special. And so, yeah, JJ McCarthy was terrible through 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden turned it on, and he was great in the 4th quarter. And I'm just like walking away from that game. If you're going to ask me which one I would rather have, Caleb Williams or JJ McCarthy, it's an easy. The answer is JJ McCarthy.
Yep.
And I'm not even sure that's a hard decision right now, but like that shouldn't be the case. And so I when it comes from a fantasy perspective or a betting perspective, if you're a bettor, I think I just generally would be very nervous about betting on the Bears until Caleb Williams otherwise. So like to me, Odunze should be a higher draft. Like Odunze should be in that 4th round, dead zone, like with the other guys, where Abuka currently is, that 3rd or 4th round, where Marvin Harris is being drafted, where Zay Flowers is being drafted, like Ricky Pearsall is now. That Odunze should be in that mix. The reason he's not in that mix is not his fault. It's because his quarterback. And so it's depressing the rest of the fantasy options there. On the Viking side, by the way, the Vikings defense, like they didn't register a sack till the 4th quarter, but they were all over the place. They looked really good. And so I don't think I want to, I don't think I want to draft a play against the Vikings. Right. So I think that's that's one lesson learned. And then you mentioned Mason and Jones. They were pretty much even carries until the end of the 4th quarter. And then late in the 3rd into the early 4th, Mason got more of the carries and the offense turned around. I don't know if that was connected. Like, I don't know if Mason became the primary ball carrier in the 4th quarter and that was the unlock. Or if it was a combination of JJ McCarthy getting his head out of his ass and Jordan Mason becoming I think it was a combination, but I don't think we can ignore that either. And I certainly had Aaron Jones rated above Jordan Mason going into the season, but I don't think it's crazy to flip that at this point. Where'd they get drafted in this draft here?
Okay, let's look. Mason got drafted at 7'11", and Jones got drafted at 7'08", so right next to each other right there, 7th round.
I mean, it's probably fair but I think Mason probably deserves to be drafted slightly ahead of Jones at this point. I think you should flip flop that.
I agree. I think it's close though. Like I said, I think they were rotating drives because like Jones got the first carries and then it was Mason, and I think what you're saying is true. Like Mason overtook him at the end, but I think that's because like Mason's drive was when they were just trying to pound the ball and take time off the clock, So, but Jones was on the field and they scored that touchdown. It was McCarthy's second touchdown, I think, to Jones.
Jones had that wheel route, like great touchdown catch. It was great play by Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, you there? You disappeared for a second.
Did I lose you? You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I mean, and Aaron Jones still had he had that great wheel route and scored a touchdown. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, no, he was awesome. He was awesome for that one catch. It was a huge disappointment for someone who bet him over 49.5 rushing yards. Like I said, wrong running back. I would have hit my same game parlay if I took Mason instead. But can't have good things here. So, although in the Browns Bengals game we listed. So, all right, last question here before we head out. Should I trade Kittle and Moore? Okay, yes, for Pickens and Warren. Yes, I just saw that. I was like, yes, for anyone. Pickens and Warren. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, I think Warren and Kittle are comparable if Kittle were healthy. Like, forget that. But like, Warren's awesome, and I think Pickens Moore is kind of even. Maybe I don't know what you think about that, but I think this is a slam dunk trade. I would do that. Yeah. 100%.
Probably, yeah. I'm not as confident as you are, but I'm on the same side.
Yeah, I just love Warren more. So, anyway, all right, guys, thanks for watching the show, commenting, really appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with Andy talking our week 2 picks, and then Evan on Thursday, and then Tom on Friday, all NFL picks. But it was cool to do fantasy on Tuesday, a lot better, I think, because we talked waivers and stuff. Whereas last year we couldn't really talk waivers on Wednesday. We just talked, like going forward stuff. But I think this is a better setup. So otherwise, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit thecapisfake.com. Kenny, what do you have going on here?
Oh, I got a new article up.
Oh, why you should ignore beat reporters. I love this.
So basically what I did was I've been talking about this for years. You and I have talked about this, how much I hate beat reporters, and I think they're all idiots.
Yes.
And so this is what I did. I collected a bunch of beat reports from 2024, and then I wrote how they turned out.
Okay.
Like, for example, the beat reporters would tell us Christian Kirk is not going to play in 2 receiver sets, but he actually played in 63% of 2 receiver sets last year before he broke his collarbone.
Wait, hold on. Before you go on, do you have who wrote these?
Oh, I don't. No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I was curious to who. Okay.
Oh, I actually have some of them. I didn't want to embarrass. I didn't want to call guys out. But
that's all I do. Me and you are opposite. I love calling people out. I've dragged Jordan Rodriguez through the mud the past 2 weeks. Like the reporter for the Rams. Real quick before you continue, I was dying to find news on Stafford's back, and I was like I knew she covered the Rams through Athletic. I checked her Twitter feed on Friday, because that's the final day for injury reports, and her whole Twitter feed, she had one tweet about the Rams. And it was like a generic quote from McVay, which I could have gotten from anywhere. I was like, well, what are you doing? Do you have a job? Can you just do your job? Can you cover the Rams, your team you're supposed to cover? I agree. These beat reporters are awful. There are like a couple good ones. There's like 2 or 3 good ones, maybe 4, but they all suck otherwise.
So so this is my So I basically wrote down a bunch of beat reporter comments and then what actually turned out. And then I did for 2025, going into the 2025 season, what are some of the beat reports we've gotten? And one of them actually turned out right. Like, if you look at the JCM one, if you keep going down there, I put it in red so the JCM one, the beat reporter said Brian Robinson was going to get cut or traded, and that seemed really odd, but it turned out to be true. So so I want to be fair. Sometimes beat reporters get things right. Anyway, so I wrote down a bunch of stuff from beat reporters that I'll be tracking throughout the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a cool article. I'd love to know who said this stuff, but otherwise, I think it's gonna be a good read, and I think that most of these predictions will be wrong, as they usually are with these beat reporters. I think the problem for them is like the head coaches lie, like they lie to everyone, so they're just lying to them. But that is not an excuse. That just means you have to get better sources. Look at Charlie Campbell. Like he gets like factual stuff that is proven through his accurate mock drafts and accurate draft props.
Right.
Like Charlie does his homework and he like has real sources that trust him. Like these beat reporters don't have those sources. I can hear your phone going off. So let's head out. It's late here. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Kenny, it was great to have you on for this Tuesday. I look forward to Tuesdays for the rest of the season. And I feel bad if we don't answer this. One last question. What are your thoughts on this trade? Jacobs, Judy, Goddard, give McBride a Pearsall. I would not give Pearsall. I love Pearsall. But you're getting Jacobs though. Yeah, McBride's really good too.
I wouldn't give it up a lot there.
Yeah, me too. I said Judy's a non-player. And Goddard's like really hit or miss. So
if it's PPR, probably not, because McBride could be a PPR monster.
Yeah, I wouldn't do this trade. No. All right, guys. Anyway, we have to head out. It's late. I still have work to do. So, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.
You the man, Walt.